Hey, hello! And welcome to Dragon Memoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons & Dragons. Or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons & Dragons. So, if this is not something you want to watch, well, if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, you're in luck, because they give suggestions. We strongly encourage you to pick one and have a pleasant evening. For everyone else who actually wants to be here, no matter the reason, you like us, you like Dungeons & Dragons, you like watching us play Dungeons & Dragons.
Your boyfriend has strapped you to a chair in front of the TV and won't let you leave.
You mean
Then
that's illegal?
I think you might want to call the police.
Nah, it's not illegal.
Well, yeah, no,
long
you
as he
should
doesn't
call
get
the
told
police.
off.
Just
You're
let
done watching
them,
it.
just let them watch the stream and then call the police. All right, so if you actually want to watch us do this, you're welcome among us. It's a pleasure to have you. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, back from previous session, like Val and V, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you with us. So, not much else to say. If you like the thunderstorm in the background, ambient mixer. If you enjoy the battle map, Dungeon Alchemist. If you enjoy the world map, Wonder Draft. And that's all the publicity we have. If you want to know more about... You're approaching, yeah.
Wait, we're gonna die?
Last month.
What?
Well, you're always about to die. What was I saying? Oh yeah, if you want to know anything about the programs or website that I've just mentioned, there is the information below the window. And hopefully, thanks to audience giving to a little bit of money to his god, everyone will survive tonight's episode. Because that's how Paladin works, you know?
No, it's not for everyone. It's just for me. I can all die.
I could just run
Imagine
away.
if there was
don't
an
worry.
actual like a tithe mechanic in game, like built into the class.
They used to.
Give tithing. You
The
will
Paladin
survive.
was expected to give, I think, half of all its earning to his church.
Well, I mean, he already has to do that with the dragon inside of him.
Well,
Yeah,
not officially, but
that's a mutually beneficial relationship, though.
yeah, this one. Well, usually it was with Paladin before because in exchange you get a whole bunch of really incredible powers. With Audience and his god, much less. With Audience and his dragon, because of his artifact, much more.
It's his AWB, artifact with benefits.
If Audience was more prone to meditation, he might try to contact his little beast inside and ask him a few questions. But since he thinks about meditation, the same thing as, well, everything else that doesn't have to do directly with his god, it's not gonna happen. So, yeah. What happened last episode? Aha, yes, a whole lot of good memories. No trauma at all. The party rushed to the aid of their newest friend after receiving a message from a celestial entity warning them that their friend was in danger. Unfortunately, even with the fastest method of transportation available, getting to their destination would still take several hours. After a long and slightly anxiety-building wait, they reached their destination and did their best to arrive before it was too late. Even with their best effort, however, they were not able to prevent the situation from unfolding. Fortunately, they were able to arrive before their new friends died in the most atrocious way. Their victory, however, was bittersweet, as their new allies suffered greatly at the hand of their captors. And if I remember correctly, we ended last episode with a... Was it in here? Yeah. We ended last episode with Jorg and Tobiyashi taking care of Sachet, who, while they were taking care of her, went unconscious. Because Jorg had to reset four of her five fingers on her left hand. Pleasant evening, filled with incredible noise, especially since Remy was inside of that tiny hut, and he had such a high passive perception. He heard all of those bone-crushing moments. Pleasant recording stuck in his mind now. And so, after everything was done, and she was mostly... we can see audience's room now!
Nice. Nice green paint on the walls.
Yeah.
Avocado green.
Yeah. Shh, no one tells him. So, we ended last episode with everyone arguing with two things. Well, first, what do we do when she wakes up? Because no one was sure that she would want to stay. And after that, audience and Tobiyashi arguing. And let me reassure you, for at least an hour straight after the camera was closed, about how everyone would react to this new power vacuum and how long they would have, and what they should do, who they should leave behind, and so on and so on and so on.
Oh, okay. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I was wondering. Sorry, a
You
week.
forget?
My ADHD takes over. A week is like a year for me. I don't remember
Fair
anything. I don't remember anything.
That's okay. Audience remembers.
What did you have for breakfast today?
Nothing.
Well, that explains a lot.
Nice and simple to remember.
So, we were promised a conclusion to this long argument last episode.
Yeah, we were talking about who is going where and what's happening,
Within
right?
five
Who's going to be left
minutes,
behind?
can you give us the conclusion of your long argument about what's next?
Yes. I think that we were going to wait for Sachet to wake up, and if she still wanted to be a part of our group, we were going to go find her friend, and if she didn't, we were going to go to the middle island with the zombies. That was the conclusion.
All right.
Sounds legit.
Toby doesn't remember. I'm just lying out of
Sounds
my
legit. Yeah, he's just saying what we agreed upon.
Like, we agreed on this.
We agreed
Yeah,
on
totally. You
this.
remember this, right, man? Yeah. You know what? Don't even care anymore. Wait, let me go watch
You
last
also pledged
episode
your
real quick.
undying loyalty to the dragon.
No, okay, wait a minute. I know when I'm being gaslit now.
We all remember it. What are you saying?
Okay,
I
guys,
don't.
guys. Guys.
It's exactly
I'll
what
stand
you
up for
said.
Toby on
Okay,
that
guys.
front.
It's exactly what you said. Okay, guys. So we're good.
Yes, that was the conclusion, though.
All right. So, as you finished cleaning up this place and then argued for a good straight hour, figuring out how you would do this and who was going to be left behind for the station on this island so that the confirmation could be sent, and hoping that Sachet will at least accept making the introduction for her friend on the other island. You do notice that time has moved on, and even though you were arguing, and technically
After arguing, I'll be like, I'll look back around all of us, and I'll look back at the audience. I'm like, what do we do about the bodies?
Oh, we already took care of the bodies.
Yeah.
they've already been
We
dumped
did?
in the sewer,
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay.
because that's not going to make
And
odds.
really just, it's all gone, isn't it?
It's all gone. It's all gone, guys.
Additionally, like the library's never been cleaner.
It's very clean.
We
There's
didn't
the
search the
smell
bodies,
of
right?
lemon fresh filling the air.
Well, there is
Yeah,
a
there's some,
broken table
Heinz
that you
all.
had to throw out, but all right. So you notice that time has moved on, and it is nearly night outside. You suddenly feel a little chill coming into this huge library, and you realize that, all right, that you forgot about that. She did a lot to take care of this library. She took out things that would generate a little bit of heat, and probably keep the humidity from catching into the books. But now she's not there doing this, so you start feeling the chill of the room and the emptiness of all of this. Fortunately, there's not a lot of echo. Books do absorb a whole lot of noise. But slowly but surely, everything is growing darker around you. You're not even sure how she was making it bright inside. So,
I'm
what did you...
gonna make my way back to the front and I think lock the door to the front area, like the very front building. Go back, shut the door, and lock it because I'm pretty sure we left it open.
I
Unless
think
it was broken
I did
down.
that. I already
You
did
you
that.
locked it? Okay.
Yeah, after shooing the kid away.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's coming back in bits and pieces, guys. You gotta bear with me.
You remember that you
Um,
spent a few hours guarding the door, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm still in the front. Okay. All right.
Then you went to get muffins for everyone, and yeah. So the description of the kid when he said that they'd broken the door was less impressive that he made it sound. It's really more like they forced the lock. So the door actually was not broken. And with a little bit of Remy's assistance, repairing that lock wasn't even that hard. And once again, the front door.
Once again, Remy just gets a really odd feeling about like fixing a lock.
That doesn't work. I usually have to. This place is weird. Yeah, so the door is locked, but you know that they were able to get in relatively easily. How secure it actually is, you don't know, but you did spend an entire night there, and there wasn't any problem. And, of course, you know there's always Cuddles watching over everything. He's not always there, but when he is, he just gives you a chill on the spine. Up the spine. Oh yeah, one detail. I looked at your audience. I looked at your blind sight ability, blind sight fighting style. So since it's not actually a type of sight, but just a very practiced perception through the other four senses,
Yeah, sound, yeah.
it would mean that Cuddles wouldn't have any problem approaching you when everything was dark.
No, I would just sense him
Yeah.
when he approached me.
So one detail that you would have sensed is that when you're looking at Cuddles, he looks like a tiny creature. But when everything was in the dark and you felt it move between everyone, he felt a whole lot bigger. Like bear size bigger.
He's a grower, not a shower.
And since you're the only one who has blind sight, you're the only one who has this confirmation. Ah, yes. So now the audience is stuck with this image. Yay! All right, so slowly the night falls, and unless there's something you wanna do, prepare. You know that, especially you, audience, since you know how cold it can get in these regions, and you're getting dangerously close to what would be the equivalent of December. So more and more snow, and the temperature dropping more and more. You don't know how she maintained the temperature inside. You've seen her bring in these long device that generated heat, but you don't know how to activate them. You don't know where exactly they are, although you might deduce that there might be some in the other building.
I think I remember telling Civ that we're fine now.
You did. You did
I
tell
did.
Civ we were
Yeah,
fine.
he's not gonna
So he's not
come
gonna
inside
come
trying to
soon.
kill everyone. Don't worry.
You did.
An important thing I remember.
Audience doesn't know what she did, so he's gonna go with the classic and just find kind of a safe place to build a fire, not near any like dry paper or bookshelves.
Inside? We're gonna get
Yeah.
smoked out.
Yeah, I know how audience knows how to create a fairly non-smoky fire.
Also, we should. But CO2. Do we have functioning CO2 detectors?
We're in a
if
massive library.
Hey, I'd rather be safe than sorry. But if we can put a hole in the ceiling,
Then
Okay.
the people would see smoke coming
I'm
from the
gonna
library.
build a fire while they discuss CO2 because I don't
All right.
understand that.
I'm fine. I don't care about CO2.
So
Hey,
you'd
I'll look
probably
over to Remy.
you'd probably be able to figure out something, because it used to be a very large building. You can imagine that there were a lot of people doing research, and since there is winter here, there are several places where people could probably read book near a hearth or some sort of things like this. But just as it was brought up, if you make a fire in those, someone's gonna see some sort of smoke coming out of a chimney somewhere.
That's why I don't want to. I just want to create a low burning, one of those like coal fires where it's just low burning, so there's no real smoke, but it still has the heat.
So you'd have two options. There is either the option of going where Sachet was cooking and all huddling up in there, and there's probably something that allows you to make some sort of fire to cook. Or you can start going outside in the backyard, getting some rocks, and creating a fire pit
No.
somewhere.
Audience actually would take this opportunity while Sachet is asleep to actually go into the kitchen. So she's not there to tell him not to.
I will. Well, okay. So what I want to do is, I would find Remy wherever the heck he is. If he's not hiding anywhere.
So is Remy hiding somewhere?
No, honestly, if it's like a approaching night, I would say just because of precisely what happened, I think Remy would have probably wandered back to the front door and put an alarm on it.
Okay. So you probably catch Remy as he's doing his last round before everything goes dark and you all have to go to see audience in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yes?
If
Go ahead.
I ever see Cuddles, can I ask him to point out how Sachet kept it warm?
Of course you can always ask him.
Is it gonna work?
Well, there's always the problem that you're not going to hear an answer. And
Yeah, that's. I guess I can't. Following him would be hard because he can't move while I'm looking at him.
also he just
He could
disappear.
post up and then turn around and then he posts up farther down.
You just close your eyes, open your eyes, close your eyes, open your eyes.
Yeah.
So, what exactly are you asking him?
Why is it so cold right now? And how do we make it not that way?
So, to the question of how is it that cold right now, you have a moment where you look at him and then you look away and then you look back at him and you see him having this expression on his face that really, really betrays. Is that really something that you don't understand?
I mean, I know it's cold outside, but it wasn't this cold last night.
Alright, so and to the question of how not to make it cold, well, the moment you said, it wasn't cold last night, so how do you not make it cold? He looks again at you with this expression of, how blind are you? Because you
Are you gonna
actually
help,
saw her.
Or are you gonna just sit there?
Well,
Do I remember how she did it?
like I said, you only remember her bringing in these long device, sort of looks like only the pole of a lamppost with some sort of shielding apparatus behind it, made out of metal. You know that the pole itself became red from the from some sort of energy put into it, generating
But I
heat.
don't know where they are now.
Yeah, that would be easy.
Oh, okay.
You look at him. You ask him, "So where are they now?" You look away. You look back at him. You find this trail on the floor that looks like whatever dark material he was using to simulate the blood on the snowman outside. It just goes in a ways and trails off. He even apparently makes sure that it still felt like you were looking at blood, because in some place it felt like it was just dropping in drops. Then it suddenly starts pooling again and moving in another direction. He takes you to a small room near the back of the library. You get the impression that it's a storage room of some sort. And you see 5 or 6 of those things. They're quite heavy. And you're not sure how they start.
I am going to just double check that it is one of the ones I already know. Yes. Can I cast Identify on one?
Yeah, sure. So, while you're casting your Identify, Tobiyashi, what were you saying that you wanted
what
to
I
do
was going
with
to
Remy?
ask Remy
Sorry, I totally
was,
cut you
I was going to ask him for help to figure out how to turn these pillars on or where to find them at, and to help me look for them.
All right. So both make perception rolls if you want to go look for them.
Well, yeah, I just asked Remy. I want to see what his response is at first.
Okay.
So yeah, Remy, would you like to help me look for these things to warm up the room? Because audience is just going to start a fire in the kitchen.
Rainey's like eyes immediately open and then like starts scrambling looking for the
I'll start looking with them.
All right. Well, you can both make perception rolls, or one of you can make perception roll with advantage. It's up to you.
You could roll with advantage, Remy.
Okay. Well, I don't know which one is the Tobiyashi roll, but it's like one was a 15, one was a 19 on the die, so with
So
advantage of the 28.
Mine actually was a 15 plus 3. So it was probably the 15.
Okay. So Remy probably finds it just a few moments before you do. Actually, he doesn't find it. He finds Fisher looking for the rods. And you all find yourself converging on the same little broom closet somewhere inside of this library. And as you enter, feeling very proud of yourself for finding this and finding these little droplet of black blood going there, and have a feeling that, okay, Cuddles might have gone through here a few moments ago, and you enter this room thinking, yeah, we found it, and you find Fisher in the middle of ritual casting identify on those on those large rods. So you have this perfect moment of entering this place and, you're already there, and Fisher just going, shh.
Yeah, I'll acknowledge them as much as I can while in the middle of casting a spell, but not enough to interrupt.
So honestly, like Ramy will just like look down at like the black splotches on the floor, look back up at Fisher.
And then
Hey boy, you're leaking.
And see Cuddles behind Fisher, stuck in this position.
I'll just give a indistinct shrug.
Alright, so meanwhile, in the kitchen, audience, you find yourself being able to rummage through Sachet's kitchen equipment. And it's not a very elaborate kitchen. You get the feeling that it was probably used by the employees or those who would maintain this place. So it's not meant to accommodate for 30 people, but 10 people maybe, and the necessary room to prepare food for those 10 people. You do find this one crate that feels a bit different than everything else, and even more so when you open it up and look inside, and you see a variety of meats at the bottom of it. But you do feel there is a little bit of cold coming out of this crate, and a little bit of a blue shimmer also. The rest mostly feels like normal kitchen equipment that you'd find. Well, you do find a few spice shakers, which looks intricately decorated and impressively lacking dust on them. And even when you look at the table where they are, you can even see like this small halo without dust around them, as if they were repelling dust in some way. It's not a huge halo. It's maybe, a third of a sixth of an inch.
Well, I'm just gonna find the burners or whatever she has that can heat things up, and I'm gonna light those, and then I'm going to put a pot on the burners, and I'm gonna start heating boiling water, and then trying to find stuff to put the boiling water in, because I know that'll help keep people warm too.
All right. So you find yourself having to choose between a large variety of pots. This one probably would be a cauldron. One of them looks like a very classic large cauldron for mixing stuff in. The other one seems to have more intricate carvings on it. Looks like it's been recently washed, or it's maintaining itself clean.
Okay.
So which one do you want to use?
I'm not going to use any of the magical stuff because I feel like that's her stuff and I don't want to intrude. So I'm just going to use the basic stuff.
All right. So, well, now you have to find enough water to fill this. Fortunately, outside there's a whole lot of snow. Unfortunately, it's outside.
Nah, I'm a dragonborn. I'm okay.
Okay. So,
I've lived in the cold my whole life.
yeah,
Tough guy doesn't need a coat.
not even. Although in 3 weeks he might, but right now he can play it tough.
Yeah.
So, during the next hour, you see audience, well, dragging this large cauldron outside. Fortunately, there's a door leading outside, not so far. You get the feeling that the location of the kitchen was...
Most people would be dragging the cauldron. Audience has it lifted easily over his head.
Yeah, unfortunately, once it's filled with snow, it's much heavier, which means you would have to make a athletic roll to make sure that everything goes well as you're transporting this.
Okay. I can make an athletics roll. I do have a +8 to that. Should be good. Yeah, that's a 26.
Easily. Although you mostly have to drag this because that's a whole lot of snow and that's heavy.
I don't know how much I have 20 strength. How much could I carry?
Not that much.
You wouldn't be able to put it in your head, if that's the image you have in your mind. You'd probably
Unfortunate.
need to either drag it or shoulder it in some way with, I don't know, placing a piece of wood and the, I forgot how, the handle. So that you can transport it like this. But since you are doing this, as you enter with this large cauldron and flexing your muscle while you're doing this, it's just a shame that...
Oh, wait, my shirt would rip.
Yeah, exactly, that's why I was going. As you pass in front of everyone, your shirt rips. And
Too bad. She's asleep.
Well, Remy probably gets a nice show, but other than that, everyone just looks at audience ripping his shirt and dragging the cauldron to the kitchen, and while you are starting to start the fire, he suddenly, unless Remy is still watching audience, the shirt slowly starts repairing itself. And it felt like that shirt was really, really making sure that your muscles were very visible, It's like you were...
in all the right places.
Yeah! Ripping in exactly the right places so the biggest muscles would show up and make a nice contrast around them.
Was it like in Castle in the Sky where it like blows up off of his chest and shoulders?
Yeah.
I do want to imagine that when audience is like dragging in, just like and like being on full display as he is, just like audience, you'll just hear like a sailor cat call noise, like whistle.
You turn around quickly and you realize it's Remy.
I wouldn't turn around. I know it was Remy.
Nah, dude, that was
I guess there aren't
Fisher.
that many options in this library.
And so you manage to get this huge cauldron filled with snow inside of the kitchen, and you start warming up this and slowly transforming it into something that's boiling. And you even have a few options to start making a meal. There's the crate where there's all of the meat, which seems to have been
Then I'm not going to touch that.
preserved.
Seems magical.
But other than that, there are several cabinets where you find a variety of vegetables which have been chopped and are ready to be placed inside of a either pottage or a large cauldron. There's a little bit of salted pork.
I could do some salted pork.
Oh. So
I've
There's
cooked
also an
salted
enchanted
pork.
cabinet that's connected to like some random cabinet in some other house somewhere on the island, and like
Why am I stealing a random villager's like winter like food?
you don't know why. You reach in and then you pull out, and oh, that's the hand of a person. That's the hand of a person. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry.
Jeez. No. I would actually,
It
so
looked
I'd
too deep
probably,
in the
I'd
cabinet.
split up the water. So I'd use about half the water to cook the pork, and then the other half, I'd call in Jorg and be like, hey Jorg, do you got any like roots or stuff that you could make into a warming tea?
Yeah. I
Maybe a
won't
little
leave-
psychedelic,
what's
but
her-
no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, just. Oh, you
Just a
want
touch.
those? Let's just pull out the mushroom.
The good stuff.
Yeah. I would give you some stuff.
Okay.
Is it as cold as it is out here in the little hut? In the little medical hut that, or is that even still
Medical
there?
hut.
Well,
I
no,
think
technically,
Remy's
since Remy
left, so-
went out and started
Yeah.
doing thing, the tiny hut disappeared.
Okay.
But if I remember correctly, I do believe that the Leomund's tiny hut is temperature controlled.
Yeah.
it is
Well, I hope.
lighting controlled, temperature controlled, humidity controlled. It's basically like a camper, but magical.
All that's missing is a little bit of a pleasant scent, you know.
The D&D version of glamping.
Yeah, you could
No, that's another spell. That's not the...
Yeah, that's
you could grow
that's the
herbs in
mansion.
there, Jorg.
Huh?
There's a mention in
You
there.
could grow
It's a-
herbs in there. Hydroponic herbs.
No, adding aromatic
perfect for
herbs
that.
is very easy for Jorg. You probably have those
Yeah.
just stashed up on you, just because you're a druid and you recognize them as you're walking, and for you it's just easy to just slightly lower yourself and grab a handful of them. You're gonna make a meal really good.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize them a mile away.
I leave Pharrell with her to keep her warm. Also, well, I'm not there.
Okay. So, well,
And also just to keep her company if she wakes up.
yeah, no, sure. Well, you know that it's probably gonna take at least several hours before she wakes up. It was a very traumatic event, and you know that the body, even that of a seasoned adventurer, would take time before waking up. You're probably looking at the equivalent of a long rest for her, so somewhere between 6 to 8 hours of sleep. So it would take you somewhere in the middle of the night. Fisher's probably gonna have to watch over her for a while.
Okay, then I will keep him there to keep her warm, but I won't worry about.
So, on the other side, with Fisher, Tobiashi, and Remy, and Cuddles. And sometime, you lose sight of Cuddles, and then Jorg and Audion see Cuddles inside, and then sometime no one sees it anywhere. And then Frells warn you, Jorg, that Cuddles is here.
Just stay calm, Frau.
He's looking at me.
I want to chew him up like a chew toy, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, get him. Just kidding, don't do that.
He jumps at him, starts to bite him down, and then suddenly he loses sight of Cuddles, and then he finds himself in the reverse position. He's the one being chewed on by something. So, takes 10 minutes, if I remember correctly, for the identify spell.
Yep.
And it's a rather easy device to use. It doesn't have this large of a range. It generates heat for about 20 feet radius. You can increase the heat enough that you would be able to counter a very cold night outside. But the shield on it is there to redirect the heat, so it works well as a replacement for a fire camp, or the fire form for a camp.
So essentially, they're just like a magical version of like a propane tower heater.
Or electric, depending on where you live in the world. Yeah, can be compared to that. Your identify spell allows you to figure out how it opens. There is a small grouping of glyphs at the base of it, which, depending on which order you press on them, they become just slightly hot, very hot, extremely hot. You can even make them burn a little brighter, giving up to the equivalent of a campfire in level of light. They're heavy. You know, I'm sure that Remy would like audience to drag them to where you're sleeping, but but you can also do.
I don't think he really properly has the arm strength to do much of the dragging, but
No, I'm sure that Remy would love an audience to come and get the rods and get them back to where they're sleeping.
I'm sorry. I'm stronger than audience.
Yeah, but you don't
Oh,
have
how
a shirt.
Are you?
yes, but do you have a shirt that rips and accentuates your musculature every time that you do
could.
that?
I don't have musculature.
Also, I don't think you are anymore, Fisher, because I have 20 strength now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Dang it.
You know what? I'm stronger than audience now.
Okay, Toby. I'll hand you one of the things.
Here, catch.
I'll try my best to hold it up with my strength and my silk.
It's like magically off to the side, Raimi has popcorn.
What do I got to roll? A strength saving throw since he just tossed it on me?
Well, yeah, if he wants to test your strength, I'd say Fisher roll a strength roll to see how hard you tossed it, and Tobiashi see if he stays on his feet as he receives it.
I wouldn't throw it at him.
It doesn't matter if you threw it or not. I rolled a natural 1.
I do the thing where I like hold it out and he goes, I got it, and then I let it go.
And then you hear, "Tong, my foot!"
Just, ah!
You said you had it.
My fingers! Why'd you do that?
I asked, you said you had it, and so I let it go. If you didn't have it, you should have just said so.
Please get it off my foot.
Okay.
And
I'll pick it up.
After an awkward moment getting these rods out of the broom closets and everyone dragging them probably where you want to sleep for tonight, and audience preparing some sort of pottage, a mix of vegetable, aromatic oil, and a little bit of dried pork, or maybe even bacon. You know, bacon's always good. You always need bacon in whatever you do.
Bacon.
Yeah, exactly. So, you hunker down for the night. Fortunately, you don't have to sleep in the kitchen because everyone else brought back a whole bunch of rod to keep you warm. But you have warm food. And everyone does exactly like audience is doing right now, is ready to fall asleep. Nothing big happens. Unless you all want to discuss about how good audience's cooking is, and you could even make a roll.
It's shit.
How about it,
I
audience?
think we should just all say it's shit.
How?
Yeah, audience. This is pretty bad.
How?
Yeah, audience, what the? I like how you don't even eat. Why? He's the first time he eats in forever, and he's like, "This is bad, audience. I can't believe
This is my first
you'd even give this
meal
to us.
ever, and you made it bad.
How dare
Do you want
you?"
me to roll to see how
I
good
did a
my
bunch
food
of
is?
food testing at
Yeah,
the,
sure. How
garden.
it actually is compared to what everyone is saying that it is actually is.
I will roll a d20 with my proficiency because I am proficient
Yeah,
in
okay.
actually cooking meals.
All right.
It's not great. It's an 8.
Yeah, it's ass.
It's below average.
Listen, I literally stuck meat in boiling water and used no seasoning because I didn't want to impede on her like stuff. Okay,
So
I didn't have a lot of options.
it's the first thing that you
What
notice.
it is.
It's a little bland. Even you, George, you taste it and man, I gave you aromatic herbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used that in the tea. I used that in the tea.
Wasn't it also salted before? So like,
You let me make the tea next time.
The tea is fine. The tea is actually. I'll let you know if the tea is fine.
He dropped the salt
The
shake.
tea is worse. The tea is fine.
So
Tea is pretty bad too.
hot leaf juice.
as you're eating this, you sort of have this moment of, did audience use the water he boiled everything in to make the tea? There's a
Hot dog
weird.
water.
The meat will make your bones strong. The meat is.
Wait, no, hold on. It's like
The tea is
audience
salted.
actually went outside and got the leaves he needed from the roof, and made that into tea.
You don't know why, but the tea is salted.
yeah, the tea is salted, but the meat has no flavor. So the tea took all the salt that the meat had.
I actually brined the pork in the tea, so the tea got all the salt.
Oh,
Two birds with
Pork
one
on it.
stone. You wanted the pork
And
flavored,
2
you
pots
wanted
going,
tea.
one for the tea,
I'm a
one for the meat,
military
and
chef.
accidentally
It's
mix
all
them
about
up.
efficiency.
No, it's not even tea anymore. It's just a broth. We're just drinking straight broth.
Yeah, it'll keep you warm. Make you stronger.
And it will strengthen your stomach if you
Yeah.
eat enough.
This is Dragonborn cooking.
So after you have a lovely evening eating a pleasant meal, while
By the way,
yeah,
unless you'd like to roll insight, audience, Raimi looks like he's having an excellent time eating your food.
I will not roll insight.
yeah, this one. See, he's appreciating it.
No. You know why? Because he worships the dragon.
And then he looks back at us, and behind the audience, you
Bless
just see
this
him.
meal so that only people who worship the dragon think it tastes good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just non-believers.
Oh. Damn.
You all have this moment where you're arguing about this, and then suddenly one of you looks at the cauldron and you see Cuddles near it. You blink for a moment, and then you see him. The next picture is of him taking a little bit of whatever audience was making and putting it on what looks like a mousetrap, and then he's gone.
I thought he was gonna add a little bit of spice to it.
Yeah.
Cuddles is sassy.
Well, he, like Sachet said, he has a special sense of humor. And so, with the evening coming to an end, a meal fitting of the afternoon you spent.
I'm sorry it's not just Sachet's cooking. She's passed out now.
It's because of Tobiyashi, so. Well, we all know it's always because of Tobiyashi.
Yeah, I blame Toby.
No, I blame myself too. Don't worry.
Like, I don't know how, but this is Toby's fault.
I mean, it kind of is. He's the one that drew attention so that the cult realized we existed.
Mm.
No, I was gonna
Well, I
get to that
forgive
when
you,
she wakes
Toby.
up. Okay. Okay. Toby knows this.
So now Tobiashi also feels doubly guilty about everything, you
Now
know.
that you said it out loud, I don't want to do it anymore. No more speech.
Alright, so with this lovely evening, you all go to bed feeling like you need to drink water because that was all too much salt and everything.
Oh, trust me, Raimi has been thirsty for quite some time.
I was about to say something, but then I
Nice.
figured, oh yeah, the answer to that can be yes. So never mind. So,
I'll make a huge silk pillow for Sachet and then use all my key points to make it stay there.
well, you don't need 50 feet of silk to
No, it's
make a
50
good
feet.
pillow.
No, it's 50 feet of silk. It's a huge pillow.
It's just super dense.
Yeah.
You put it behind her head, and instead of resting really comfortably, she's like this because the
Yeah,
pillow is
no,
too
that's
big.
good for her. That's good
She-
for her.
She is being comforted by the culmination of Toby's virtuous soul.
Yeah. She could feel my energy through the pillow.
Right, so the night eventually falls, and everyone goes to sleep. Well, thanks to Fisher, Fisher, Tobiashi, and Remy, the place is at least warm, and you don't half freeze to death during the night. And thanks to audience and Jorg, your bellies are full. You regret your belly being full, but they are full. So,
Is that me or my heart beating fast? Oh my gosh.
Wait, is this a heart attack?
there is a sense of security now. And although he does sometimes make you feel like you're in the presence of a very imposing predator, Cuddles now feels... Well, you sort of understand why he has that name. In the middle of the night, guarding this place, suddenly becoming near omnipresent, knowing that he can handle 20 or more people within less than a minute, you feel a lot safer in here. A lot cozier. Nearly like a cuddle. In the morning, you are woken up a little early, Jorg, by your dog, who informs you that Sachet has become slightly restless. She might be waking up.
All right. I'll head over to her.
You get the feeling that it's nearly the hour where everyone would wake up. So you can leave them all sleeping for another 30 minutes or wake them up early. But she does appear like she is slowly waking up, tossing and turning a little bit. Well, as best she can, because the moment she tossed too much, there is a... And you are there to see her open her eyes and just look around for a moment and notice you. Oh. you're here.
I'm glad you're up.
Well, I guess I'm glad to have the opportunity to be up.
Yeah. Yeah,
So you all came back.
of course we did.
I was afraid that you might not be coming back.
Yeah, we were warned of your danger. Well, audience was in his dreams.
And it's normal that he dreams about me?
No, but it is pretty normal for him to dream about gods, and it looks like someone's looking out for you.
Oh.
You don't know my dreams. Jordan.
I don't know your dreams.
It's 50-50
But
gods
pretty much
and
every
girls.
time you tell me about them, there's gods involved. So
Yeah, those he tells you involve gods.
This one just had a god and a girl in it, so.
So you see, if he constantly refers to every woman that he likes as his goddess, then yes, he is always dreaming about gods.
Well, I guess might make a little bit of sense. So, I guess he met Hinsha.
who? Yeah, I was wondering who that was.
Hinsha, the owner of my book.
Is your book something that binds you to them?
In a way, there's
Suppose that is.
much of his energy into it. And it is a connection to his power.
Okay. So is it like a pact or something, or you just?
I guess you could call it like this.
Cool.
He's been following me ever since I was a child. They did say that the matron who found me on the doorstep found me in a basket, and the book was at the bottom of the basket.
Whoa.
It took a while for the book to gain sufficient power, but now it does, and it's quite helpful.
I'm glad he's looking out for you. So you were born with the book?
No. I'm guessing he found me when I was left at the doorstep of the orphanage. Yeah, I think that we could call it like this. Made sure that I was found. I don't know about the moment of my birth. All I know is that a lot of people were very disappointed. I had a few features that my father did not have, but another person in the village had them, and so my mother did not want everyone to know this.
Oh.
This is why she put me in a basket and took me to the orphanage and told my real father that I was a stillborn. Yeah.
Damn.
But I had
Sounds
a
like you had
second
it.
father many years after, and he was very nice. He's a bit why I spent so much time in libraries. He was a bit of a traveling merchant. He was very nice to me.
Hmm. That's good. Seems like you were you born on the islands?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Figured you were.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not hard to figure this out. She sort of have a half motion pointing toward her horns. I'm sure it's not that hard to figure out I'm born here.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that there's a lot of those like me outside of the island.
There aren't there? Outside of the game.
Oh yeah, there are.
Okay, I figured. I wasn't sure if your lore had it different.
No. It's although it is not the majority of the population, it is
No.
among the normal kind of people that you can meet. Remy is a rarer specimen than thieflings.
Wait.
Totally.
No, believe it or not, there's a lot of people like you out there.
Really? I thought they would have all been exiled here.
No,
Huh.
why? Why is that?
Well, isn't it a bit obvious? I mean,
Yeah, but out these islands aren't really used anymore. And anyways, it's not like you're the only race that can be evil. And it's also not inherently evil to be like you. So
well, no, but I mean, I'm born with a mark this strongly, so, it's something that lingers. I'm sure there's at least a trace of whatever evil was done that's still inside of me, otherwise I wouldn't be looking like this. No?
yeah, but original sin's whack. You shouldn't be.
It's whack.
You shouldn't be
That
punished for something
druid.
that you didn't do.
No, but it's
Not talking to a cleric.
It's a stain. It's there's something of it left inside of me. Otherwise, I'd look like you.
Well, it's genetics.
Well, yes, you know absolutely what genetic is.
It's like if you have a group of black sheep out in the wild, they're gonna have black baby sheep. It's just if your parents have horns, you're born with horns.
Okay.
I'm going to step away for a moment before I think too hard about the oversimplification of that.
No. That's fine. He almost has it. He's getting there.
Make an insight roll, Jorg.
Alright. I haven't pulled up. not great
Okay.
is a 5.
Right. All right. So it completely goes over your head.
Wait, no, he's by audience, so he has a
I'll
a
get
reroll.
+2.
That's not how that works. That doesn't work.
Also,
I don't think he
audience
is
is
by
still
me.
asleep.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know much about sin. If you want to talk about that, you should go talk to audience.
Are you saying audience is sinful?
No,
Yes.
you're religious.
Well, to be fair, Tobiyashi has also been raised in a
Mhm.
temple, so any of the two
Yeah.
would be.
I
go
see what
talk
Dorg
to
is getting at
Toby
is
or-
that his entire religion is sin.
Yeah.
He is sin incarnate. Okay. He is,
Trust me, I could teach Sashay all about sin if you want me to.
No,
Ooh,
no.
Alright.
She's just healing. Come on.
Well, but it's. I mean, it's like a scar, so long as the body hasn't completely finished removing it, it's going to stay there. And isn't it the same thing? I mean, it's not like there are just people around suddenly growing horns. And having their skin suddenly change colors. Well, I guess there are some magical object and potions which can do this, but that's not an actual thing. It's a cosmetic change, no? I mean, I wouldn't be able to leave the island. Whatever sin was committed was probably so grave that it's been imprinted in my body.
I suppose. I don't know how it works. I just don't think you should feel bad about yourself or punished for.
Well,
being
unfortunately,
born like that.
because you rolled a 5, the fact that you're talking to someone who is showing obvious sign of having been indoctrinated in a very harmful way of thinking about herself has just blown right over your head.
Yeah. I figured that out in real life, but Jorg didn't.
Come on, Jorg.
Well, I think you're perfectly fine, and that you shouldn't be punished for being born the way you were. It's not like you chose it. So,
Well,
if you want,
it depends on what they say. A lot of gods do say that that souls choose their body. So, my soul most likely chose a body which reflect the inner sin of whatever was done originally.
you don't remember it, right?
Well, no, I've heard only elves remember what's before they were born, and only for a short while. Well, short while for them. I mean,
Then what's the point in being punished?
well, isn't it what you do with someone who has committed
Yeah,
a
but
crime?
you didn't commit it.
Probably committed
Even if
in a past life or something like this.
yeah, but that's not you. If you committed a sin in a past life, then
Well, it's
that-
still my soul, so it's still me. And while this conversation is going, slowly, audience, Remy, Tobiyashi, and Fisher, well, Fisher is just coming out of its dormant state, but audience, Tobiyashi, and Fisher are slowly waking up, because I don't
So my
want this
question
entire episode to be
is-
about jargon.
My question is, if I were to activate something with my key and hold it there, when I take a long rest, would it disappear after I woke up? Or would it still be there since I got all my key points back.
Okay, for the silk. No, the silk. You regain your key points when you
Yeah.
let go of the silk.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So basically, if you want all your key points back right now, you'd have to be a dick.
Yeah, yeah. Like right in the middle of the conversation, boom.
Pulls the silk from under her. And prove to her that somewhere someone thinks she needs to be punished for daring to start thinking that she didn't do anything wrong.
My stomach
You're a
hurts.
bad girl that needs to be
Oh
punished.
no.
Oh
No, thank
you.
Hit me, baby, one more
Oh, no, come on.
We interrupt this program to bring courage the cowardly dot. No, sorry.
Hold on.
It's forgive me, Father, I've sinned. Not sorry, Daddy, I've been naughty.
All right. So hold on. I'm gonna get back the trigger warning. Yeah. All right. And so slowly, audience, Tobiashi and Remy, you're starting to wake up, and Fisher, your attention has been drawn to the fact that Jarg is talking to Sachet, so your attention starts to focus on the fact that they're talking. They're not talking loudly. She can't talk loudly right now.
How's the patient, Doc?
She's recovering well, it appears. Other than some long-lasting psychological damage, she's her body's
Oh,
healing
rough.
up.
Been there.
Trust me, we're adventurers. We all got that. That's nothing. Yeah.
Wait, I grew up fine. I was just tortured in the middle of our adventuring, okay?
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to get it somewhere.
A little later.
Well, Tobiashi, you have a feeling she had it a bit rougher than you because of things that you saw. You know that hers started much earlier than yours.
Oh, definitely. I'm not saying it's not any worse. I'm just saying I didn't have psychological
Okay,
trauma
everybody,
starting
we're
our adventure.
comparing trauma.
and you know, there's this one little thing. You know, she owes her soul to a patron. So.
She's a warlock.
Sorry.
Oh, you're not supposed to owe your soul to your page? Oh.
Damn it.
Audience sold his soul for $5 in a donut.
I'll get up, stretch, look to the right, look to the left, feel cramps in my stomach, and go use the restroom.
She tries to sit up, not stand up, just sit up so she can seize everyone. Oh, you're all awake. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't disturb any of you. Maybe I was talking too loudly.
I don't think you get to apologize. Or
I am going.
so,
We put
get
you
have
in
to
the situation.
apologize.
You got
I am.
That's wrong wording.
1 second. I am going to walk over there to her. Kind of getting in like the bowing position and apologize profusely. I'll just be like, I'm sorry, this is all my fault. If I wasn't so dumb,
It's
none of
not
this would have
all your
happened.
fault. It's all
Don't be so hard on yourself. It's not like you had a method of locking down this building through magic or something like this, which could have helped.
I got all this attention on us. It happens all the time. I do stupid shit that I shouldn't be doing. Maybe if I just wasn't the way I was, then none of this would have happened.
Toby, you're perfect.
Oh, hold on.
Do I need to make a deception check to?
No.
If you want to.
I'm just writing something that Tarinad tells you, Fisher.
Is it about the lever?
The lever? Oh, I haven't heard about. Oh, since I first
Oh shit! I
started.
forgot about the lever.
It's not like something. It's not like you had a method of locking down this entire building through some sort of magic.
That's why I asked if I needed to make a deception check.
Depends on if you want to say something about
Oh.
this.
Like I said,
Actively avoiding it.
like I said, that doesn't matter. If I didn't bring up so much attention, we wouldn't have to lock down this building in the first place.
Well, I guess it's
Just accept my apology. I am very sorry. I'll try not to do this again.
She gives you a forced smile, not in the sense that it's not honest, but in the sense that it's forced through residual pain.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking at her. My face is in the
Okay.
ground right now.
And come on, don't worry too much about it. This place is cursed. It wears on people's mind. It reveals things, reveals weaknesses about ourselves. But this is why it does it, so we can work toward becoming stronger.
Wait, is it actually cursed though?
You don't know, but it's not the first time that you hear someone referring to these islands as cursed.
Well, if you need anything to get better or anything, I'm more than happy to help. I feel like I owe you something. Just tell me what to do.
Well, I would appreciate someone to look over my shoulder as I make my way to my friend's library, because I can't stay here. They're bound to come back, or someone else is bound to come back. I guess I have to leave this place for a few weeks at least. Make sure everything dies down and people start forgetting about your arrival.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there.
If you need anything, you can call on us.
Oh, well, if you're honest about this, if one of you wouldn't mind, and she does her best to take her book. She has to do it with her right arm, which is still sore from having her shoulder being dislocated. Gets it close to her, opens it toward the end. I could use one of you writing your name in this. I could contact you very easily.
Yeah, you can write. My name can go in there. Anyone else?
I'll do it.
I just need one name. I only have room for one name.
Oh,
She flips through
Oh.
a few pages. You notice that she flips through 3 pages before getting to a blank page. And you only see one name on top of each pages. They're written in different languages, so you don't recognize any of them. But 3 pages before she gets to a 4th one that is completely blank. I just need you to write your name here. And she points to the top of the page.
I'll rush over and do it.
it's a dead note.
Alright, so no one argues. Tobiashi writes his name in the book?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So, are you familiar with the spell of sending? It allows you to send a message to someone. Small one.
Okay.
Well, now, and she takes a quill and she writes hello on it. You hear in your head her voice saying, hello.
Can I respond back?
Of course you can. You see the word, can I respond back, on the pages appear. Yes. But it's just like the spell. You have 25 words. And then you have to wait for me to write something. And then you'll get another 25 words. So.
Okay. Anything you need to tell us, just let me know.
Well, at least like this, it can easily warn you. Unfortunately, if you want to send me a message, you'll have to have the spell. But like this, I can always contact you. And so far, I haven't seen anyone that goes outside of the range of this. But I don't know anyone who's been outside of the island, so.
So we definitely have no other forms of magical communication on our person.
Yeah.
You want me to leave my orb with her? What?
Have we? I feel like this question has been asked and answered multiple times, and I still haven't learned it. If we do give up an orb, and we need to go,
Is she going to be taken instead of us?
Yeah.
Technically, it's your orb. So, no. The orb might leave with you, but she's not going to be taken because normally you have to warn the garden to disconnect the orb from your group. You can't do this right now. So technically it will remain your orb. And if you orb out, you're not sure, but there's a chance that the orb will leave and leave her here.
Do we have any extra orbs or no?
No.
You didn't take any, no.
Extra orb.
No, I don't think we
I'll
took
pull
any.
out my orb.
We have Valtteri's
And-
orb.
This would probably be a lot easier than writing it. Although writing its book's probably more discreet, but
All right.
this is what we use.
Oh, okay.
You got to teach her how to use it.
We'll show her how to contact everybody.
That's very fascinating. Where did you get such an interesting device?
From a boat.
Okay.
I look at Fisher weirdly. A boat.
It's not technically wrong.
It's a ship. It's just a ship that can travel through space and dimensions and and all that thing. All right, it's a boat. I guess it's the same kind of low description boat as your box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except the box is like a private or like a me thing. The boat is like a not supposed to talk about it thing.
Right. Okay. I think I get the difference of this. Although some things... No, never mind. That's not something you'd have to worry about. All right. I guess it's morning already. Oh, I hope you weren't too cold. I didn't hear them come in because I was in the other building and I was getting this for you. And she goes into a pouch and takes out 6 rings. You can all...
Rings of power.
Sorry?
Nothing. Lord of the Rings reference. Keep going.
Well, it's 6 rings.
Oh,
So you...
obviously this is a polygamy thing.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
No, they're just rings that are very useful to keep warm. You can all take one. She hands each one of you one of those ring. It is a ring of warmth. It's already an object that's
Oh.
there in D&D Beyond.
Whoa.
Egg one.
Thanks. Where'd you get these?
Oh, there are a lot of small magical objects in the other building. It's just not a
Oh,
good
yeah.
thing to make sure that a whole lot of people know about it. We don't want to repeat history.
No.
The squirrel doesn't blab about the nuts they buried.
Are you sure they don't?
Yes, I am sure.
Oh, okay. Well,
Also, I think anybody that was able to blab can no longer. I think we took care of most of it.
how can you be sure?
Cuddles did most of the work.
Well, here and then our other friend did some work
Oh yeah.
outside.
She has a moment when you say Cuddles at the work, she turns around, just her head. Cuddles. I thought we talked about this.
Oh, was he not supposed to just massacre everybody that was there?
Well, no.
He did it.
Oh,
Out of
I know why
necessity.
he did this. I'm just saying that he's fast enough and strong enough to have handled this in a different way.
I mean,
And
I guess
But,
unless
mm,
you were thinking of like questioning one of them. I think I'd say he's good there on like necessary defensive retaliation.
oh no, I don't. Well, let's just say that you don't live in this island and simply never learn how to deal with the most plentiful resource that is around, the dead.
Oh, yeah. We stuck all the bodies in the sewer, hoping to get
Jacob.
like flushed out, and then we wouldn't have to worry about it. Was that a bad idea?
Let's just say I wouldn't go in the sewers for the next few days. That's gonna have fed the mushrooms a lot.
Draken, I would like to ask. I would have liked to pocketed the orb. If I could have.
Pocketed? The one that Fisher gave.
No.
Intercept.
No. The orb that we were fighting that
Oh.
got demolished.
Oh.
Well, it's a bit big to fit in a pocket, but you can have put it inside of audience's
can I put it-
space. Yeah.
Could I have put it in my body bag?
No, it's not a humanoid.
Ah. All right, I put a human body in, and then I put the orb in it. Okay. There.
next
Fit
time we
it
see
in
the
there.
Crossroads guy, we should get a human body that like acts as a dead body that can fill your space without being a real dead body.
All right, we'll just say that I'm carrying the orb with me while we're doing this. Well, it's by where I was sleeping.
How big is this orb?
It's about 1.5 feet in diameter.
Okay.
a
Just
pretty big
carry
orb.
around like a medicine ball.
Yeah. I have it in a little satchel, made with my silk across my body, like a baby.
It's a big baby. It's a dragonborn baby.
Also, I just now realizing this because I can do it now. I don't know if Raimi ever did this or if we never actually thought about it. I'm just gonna go sneak off into a little corner, guilty about forgetting about the lever, and actually cast Identify on it, so that I can actually try and learn what it does.
Oh, that's
more than
the reason why the gnomes gave it to you, to experiment on. Identify doesn't work on them.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
The magic inside of it is just too swirly and it just redirect itself continuously. It's too confusing. That's why they can't use. That's why they always make you try object they don't know what it does, or potions that they can't figure out what it's supposed to do. It's because of how they were made. They just throw off every single time the identify spell.
I put the thing in my backpack. That looks less conspicuous.
Yes. Because your backpack is a satchel. So
Yeah. Yeah. My next thing is, after I'm done apologizing everything and we have this conversation, while they're deciding what we do next, because I'm just going to follow what we do, I would like to poke and prod at this orb for a little bit. Kind of just mess with it, go around, see what it's made out of, stuff like that.
It's been hacked, and the exterior, the hull has been completely breached. You can see inside. It's been too heavily damaged to work for now, unless you want to try and repair it.
Well, I just want to kind of like mess around with it, see what it's made out of, what's inside of it.
Mostly metal.
Open it.
There are a few things you don't know what they might have done. There's a whole lot of powered down glyphs and runes inside of it. You're guessing that it nearly covered the entire inside of it. The mechanism inside that you can find probably relates to the different abilities of this thing. You know that it has spell casting abilities and that it has a very elaborate sensing tool.
Yeah.
So it's probably relating to all of this, but because it's powered down and it received heavy damage during the combat, it's hard to know exactly for sure what did what and which equipment might still be functional right now.
What you doing, Toby?
Trying to see. Well, my main thought is that this wasn't theirs, right? We fought one of these on the beaches, and I guess they belonged to the wizard. If they could have done it, maybe we can. Maybe it could help us in some way. Just seeing what it's made out of and what it does. It's a whole bunch of magic stuff I'm not really used to, but maybe I could figure it out.
Help.
Yeah, if you want to. We could try to repair it and see what it does, see if it helps us.
Why don't we try and learn a little more before we try and get it working again?
Okay, that sounds good to me too.
All right. Well, while you all do this, I will try and
Just
reach out
rest.
to my friend in the other library and see if he is open to a little bit of visit in the next week. She takes her book,
Sounds good.
flips the page to the second page. That is at the end, and she starts writing. Probably for you, Remy, you're the one who feels a sense of familiarity in the way she's writing. Because she's writing one sentence in common language, but she receives an answer in a different language. And then the next answer is in a different language. And then a third answer feels like someone tried to write down a baboon screaming.
Whatever that looks like.
So you get the feeling that, okay, Maybe she's talking to that other one like you. The writing stays there for a little while. You can probably just look at it, but without anything to translate, you can just easily recognize that whomever is responding talks in at least 3 different languages. And they looks to be quote. The first one you can recognize is something similar to the effect of opening hours of the zoo are between 7 in the morning and 4 in the evening. She just write back, yes, I know about this. But we sort of need this fairly soon. Then the answer comes in a form of are we still gonna have problem in the monkey cages? Then the other answer, you don't know the language. Then you have another answer that, like I said, it feels like someone tried to write down what a baboon would say in screams, and then the writing becomes very fine, very elvish. And she looks at all of you and well, it still remains to be slightly negotiated, but I think we have a safe harbor on the other island. I'm gonna let you decide on how we get there. I think I'm gonna be relying on you a little bit more. I think we lost audience, so I think it's a good place to go for a break.
Oh wow.
And you lost me.
He's dead.
Oh,
No.
So, and he's
Oof.
not reacting, so I believe he is really out of it. Alright, so we're gonna take our break now, and we're gonna try and wake up our dead party member. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Alright, so we got marsh sound. Alright, see you back in 15 minutes.
Damn.
Hey!
Wake up.
Hello!
hey!
Good morning.
You're just in time for the break. Bye, see you in 15 minutes. And welcome back. I hope you had a pleasant break. We certainly had a very colorful one.
Yeah, we were having a very in-depth discussion about the War of the Pig.
Ham, get out of here. Okay, let's keep going.
I don't
Fried chicken?
support eating pigs. That is the one thing. I'll eat it. I like ham. I don't want to eat pigs. All right, I'm done.
All right. So,
Cancel him on Twitter.
someone take a clip of this. Make it memorable. I like ham. I don't like pigs. I feel like this deserves some sort of
That's what's
recognition.
backwards.
All right, so I believe you have all woken up. You have all, well, some of you have apologized to Sachet, but audience remained oddly silent throughout the entire conversation.
What conversation? Sorry.
He was still waking up.
Yeah, that's it. He was
Literally.
He was still waking up.
It's just good role playing.
Audience just was sleeping.
Got really into character.
Method acting.
We'll just say audience never actually woke up. Everyone else but audience woke up.
So now that most of the conversation is done, you just see audience go, "Ah, ah, oh, that was a nice night. I slept so well. Ah."
It was all that salted pork and root tea. Always puts me fast to sleep.
Hmm.
What do you mean, salted pork?
Oh yeah, I took some of your salted pork.
That wasn't pork. Never mind.
Oh God.
What did I feed them?
Assume the best because I don't want to think about the other option.
The bodies we didn't get to.
Maybe she does deserve to be here.
I didn't use any of your magical meat or cooking equipment, though, Sachet. Don't worry. I didn't feel like I didn't want to get involved with that because it was your stuff.
Oh, that's good, because if you found magical meat, that's not mine.
It was. I don't know if it was magical. It was just like it felt like extra cold or something. It was in that little, like case.
Oh, yes,
Down.
the cold crate. Yeah, the crate is definitely magical, but it just keeps things cold.
Yeah, I didn't touch any of the stuff that had magic around it, though.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go inside the kitchen now to see what exactly you took. I'm hoping it's the spider meat, but you never know.
Oh, spider meat. That makes me feel better.
Well, that's the base
Definitely not
case
human
scenario.
meat.
No, I wouldn't eat human meat.
Okay, good. I didn't think you would. I don't know what puppets eat though.
I don't think he eats.
No, I've never seen him
I
eat.
know. Just because he doesn't have to doesn't mean he doesn't.
Oh,
Do
come
it.
on, that was a nice joke. Never mind.
Did you know that, by the way, Alternative Sachet, did you know that your puppet has like a lot of power from your either god or patron within it? And I think that's why it protects you. Because I didn't know that until recently.
Well, I don't have any confirmation, but I do think they're connected in some way. He didn't show up until I started to master the book, and
Mm-hmm.
I could have really used them before I had the book, before I learned how to master the book.
Their presences, what I felt in my dream, are similar. They give off similar energies. I'll say that much.
So you met Hinshaw.
I did meet Hinshaw. He was upset with me. He was not a fan. He did choke me a little bit.
Well, he is a bit protective.
Yeah, it made me feel in ways that I wasn't sure about. But anyway,
And it's like there's a ray of hope that has.
Well,
but yeah, he was. I think we're fine because we got back in time. But yeah, he I think has given me some kind of responsibility for your safe well-being. So
well,
hopefully.
Yeah, it does fit a little bit with how you would think. And I mean, you are probably the one who feels closest to gods. I'm not really sure. Do druids pray to a god? Or is it just the essence of a god?
Yeah, it's more of the essence.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a guiding principles.
Well, no, because gods are the incarnation of ideals, and so if you are following an ideal, then there is probably a god somewhere that has incarnated this. This is why many people say that Mother Nature is both a god and not a god. You could be just referring to the essence of Mother Nature, but by referring it to the essence, you are also referring to the god itself. It's probably the same difference as saying, I know the definition of a word, but I don't use the word.
Yeah.
Looking up from studying the orb, I'll say, do you think that's almost the same as a shadow?
In what way?
Like a shadow of a god. Do you think it's the same thing as an essence of a god?
I don't know that the orbs are related to gods. The orbs are usually made by the wizard inside of the spire.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Okay, just wondering.
You never know what people might put inside. This one was definitely tampered with. So, who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, we're just trying to see if it helps us in any way, so me and
you're
Fisher will
looking
probably keep
for-
working on it.
You're looking for the shadow of a god?
Not
I
necessarily.
never
literally.
said that. I was just asking. Like you said, the essence and shadow are basically almost the same thing. Don't quote me on that, but
Oh, good.
like I was saying, we're just trying to see if this shows any kind of attunement to the wizard still, if it would help us in any kind of way, help us either in battle or figuring out more stuff about this wizard.
Well, the schematics of the Guardian Spheres are missing from the library here. They've been destroyed a long time ago. I guess
Mm-hmm.
we could break one down and
He doesn't have a choice. What do you mean? Okay, keep going.
and try to learn more about it, but I mean, this one looks pretty severely destroyed. I'm not sure exactly how much of it you can salvage.
Well, even then, not everything that is broken can't be salvageable, you know. People, places, things. You could always build from the ground up. They're their own people, their own things, their own persons.
Well, I'm pretty sure
So-
that if you ground a person, you can't build it back up.
Well, I mean, you never know
Oh, okay.
until you try.
I blew up Toby. He came back.
Exactly what he meant. I was literally in pieces, looking at my body all around the room.
He was smeared across a wall.
So
Was,
you never know. You could always come
different-
back to what you want to be.
oh, we
Everybody's
gotta get
their
one
own
of those
person.
potions and then get one of the orbs to drink that so we can blow them up without killing them. And then it'll give
How
us
would we get an
detailed.
orb to drink a potion?
Technically,
just gonna pour it
Toby.
on
Toby didn't drink the potion. He just broke it on himself because he tried to throw it.
Yeah,
And
even
was a
better.
clumsy idiot.
Yeah, can you add that
Hey,
to my potion
hey,
list
hey,
so I
hey.
can make it?
When you say
Just
when
one
you
second.
say this, you even have a moment where you're all looking toward Tobiyashi when the audience says this, and in the background you can see Cuddles frozen in an image that feels like he fell on the floor laughing.
Now give me a second here, guys. I came back. I'm still here.
You are. That's why I was using you as a point. You make a great example, Toby, and that's why we love you.
Thank you. I've never had a father. No, just playing. Anyways.
Whoa,
No, wait a minute.
Daddy? I mean, what? No.
You all have very interesting and varied life. Alright. Well, I hope you know where we're going exactly from here, because I don't think that I'd like very much to stay here for very long.
I think we're going to your friend, wherever that is. So if you could tell us where that is, we'll get you there.
I'll take all the orb parts and put them back into my bag satchel thing.
Were we able to figure anything out about them?
The orb, yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out.
Make an
Do we have to
Arcana roll.
How are you at
Why not?
Arcana?
Good.
Okay, I'll give you advantage. That's what I was guessing.
2 nat ones coming out.
Yeah.
No, shut up.
Coming right up. No. Okay. That's a 19.
19. So obviously, the simple fact that this orb has been severely hacked into pieces and its inside feels like it's been scrambled by a very crude object.
Or a scary puppet.
It's a bit difficult figuring out what everything does. It does feel like that initially this was a very refined design. You don't feel that a whole lot could have been added to it. You can recognize with the incantation inside of it. Actually, here, what can I? With the looking at the inside, you can recognize that it has a very incredibly sophisticated sensory equipment. Literally able to see in every direction, and can probably even see through most thing which would normally blind someone. Essentially, you think that it's immune to the blinded condition.
Fisher, do you think you could get this incorporated into yourself if we took this back to the garden?
Judging from the
Well,
size of
yeah.
the equipment inside of it, I mean, if you take your brain out, you might.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a no-go.
Unfortunate.
Well, we might be able
I'm
to use
sorry.
it.
Might not
Yeah, we
enough
could make
for you.
binoculars out of it.
Fisher, you know you're enough for me. You're a big,
Nobody-
cuddly, tattly bear.
nobody's
I
enough
love
for
you.
Audience.
Oh.
Anyways,
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
What is up with you today?
I don't think we've ever had an episode with so many innuendos in it.
So was it an innuendo? That was me just calling him cute
Uh-huh.
and going tickle,
Yes.
tickle, tickle on his
Yes,
armor.
of course.
Raimi's
It's the
Raimi's
pork.
mental
It's the pork
list
talking.
is hollowly hovering,
Yeah.
debating.
Processing.
Maybe we should find out what that beat was, you guys. How's everybody else feeling?
I'm okay.
That's because they
pretty
like
sure.
slapping the ham.
I've had worse food on my travels around where I lived. I think I'm okay.
The trick is to base the tea in the salt, because you don't lose any of the essence of flavor.
Anyways,
That would
Base
be
the
the
tea in the salt? Excuse me.
Why would you? Yeah, okay.
The salt from the meat. Because then you don't waste the salt.
Basting the tea? Jorg is triggered now.
and Fisher, you hear from inside of you. Now do you understand why I call him brainless?
I mean, I've always understood.
Do you not baste your tea, George?
No, I based meat.
Yeah. But you baste the meat with the tea, and then you don't lose the essence in everything you're eating.
I think he bases the meat in the tea ingredients, not in the actual tea.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if
Can anyone
we
No,
of
could-
you...
I guess if you wanted to save water, you just
So,
make the
wait,
tea.
just reassure me, one of you has a spell that cures poisoning? Because I think he might have poisoned himself with the meat he used. Probably he used one
we
that
all
should have
ate
been...
it.
Oh.
And I don't have it prepared.
I'm immune
Maybe
to
you
disease.
should.
I'm immune to disease.
It's not poison.
I know.
No, that's just the regular audience talking. Sometimes it gets a little bit weird. Anyways, we should probably figure out how we're getting you to this next place.
Yeah. Are we taking the train, or are we going to take the long way up through the mountains? That's, I think, what we have to decide.
Well, no, what we really have to decide is who we're leaving here.
Oh. Con, do you want to stay here?
He looks at you. Oh, nice. I'm part of the conversation again.
We don't have to call on you for you
You've
to
been
chime
here
in.
this whole time.
Like, Colin, you could have
Yeah.
talked this whole time.
No, but
Yeah.
Maybe you could have helped us with the orb. I don't know.
This is why we're leaving you. This is why we want to leave you, Con. No,
Don't
Wait,
listen,
I don't say
don't
that.
listen. Don't listen to audience.
I don't say that. I don't say that. I don't actually say that.
that.
Well, you know, if you involved me in some of the things that you do, I could probably give you a bit more of an insight in some things. I do believe that the orbs are a very interesting and fascinating magical object. I'd probably be able to reverse engineer this thing to create some sort of aid. We don't have the necessary equipment here, but
Well, okay, Colin. The main thing I wanted to use the orb for was maybe we could fasten it in some way where we could leave the orb here instead of somebody that we actually need, like you or Civ. We obviously can't leave her here because we need her. Even throughout the whole thing.
I was saying I think Con should stay here because I think that he's very, well possessed, and I really trust him to be able to handle things on his own. Because as we saw, he was able to handle the wilderness by himself, where I don't necessarily trust the rest of you with that hardship. I will roll persuasion on him while I say that.
well, that's what I want to know: persuasion or deception.
That's a 24.
I would say persuasion. I genuinely do trust him.
No,
Yeah.
for audience.
Wait a minute.
I mean-
Wait
Well,
a
I'm
minute,
persuading
guys.
Con to stay.
If
If
he-
you agree to stay.
If he's bullshitting, it's deception. If he's honest about all of the compliments that he's giving, it's persuasion.
I am honest, but I am also trying to persuade Con. What I am saying is honest, but I'm also trying to persuade Con to agree to stay.
Yeah, that just seems like a straight persuasion.
But even
Okay.
oh,
I don't know.
Well, no. Well, I'm flattered that you think so highly of me. But I don't know where I should be going. You didn't share that part of your plan with me.
Ah,
Oh yeah, he is new here.
I will explain that part of the plan to him.
All right.
Come on, what do you say?
So now we see the clock moving a little bit. All right. That's a very interesting plan. Well, there is the little problem of I don't know what the train station looks like. I don't know how the equipment works. And
Wait, one more thing. Don't you think Civ could handle it more? Even okay, so Civ would be able to handle it more by even if he did get caught, he'd be able to get away and come back and help us, right?
well,
you not think that?
to the best of what I can understand, you're going to be changing islands. So if he needs to come and help you, he's going to be several days before he arrives. He needs to go with you if you want him to interfere within a reasonable amount of time.
I think I also trust you to learn technology fairly quickly, and I think that Civ can kind of send over or walk you through some of the schematics before he catches up with us, and I think that should be enough for you to be able to figure it out. Because you're good with working with technology, which is another reason why I wanted to leave you behind.
Okay. Well, if Shay doesn't mind, I can always take a little bit of time to make research on how that equipment works. Just point me in the right direction so I don't spend the next 5 days looking into how the lamp works when I'm supposed to be learning how a complex station where you're supposed to send a message and then receive one and then close the ways for someone to reach you back is supposed to work.
So, Sashay, do you think the next library we go to would have that?
I think this library has it. It had the whole section on trains.
Well, yeah, but we're trying to leave here.
I know. I don't know why she can't point.
Well, if he's staying,
Hours,
On.
time, hours, right?
Yeah, but we don't have to stay while he researches. She just has to point him to the area that he does his research in.
I can speak for myself. Yes, I can send you in the right direction. I can even show you a little bit if you just give me a little bit of time. I might need a cane to walk for a few weeks.
I guess you'll have to play the grandma.
Oh wow. Well, people actually know me, and they won't react strangely when they see me walking down the street. Although some might feel some level of gratification at watching me stroll out like this.
That's unfortunate.
Shit.
Well, some people know that I spend a lot of time here, and this is not a well-viewed place.
Oh. Luckily, their opinions don't matter. So.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. I'm used to hearing them. This is why I usually come here very quietly. But yeah, I can definitely show you where the relevant information can be. I don't know if they would have kept all of the information, but seeing as this place is mostly abandoned, you might be able to figure something out. And once you get there, maybe you'll have to improvise, but all of your friends seem to be very confident about your ability to improvise, so... Coleman sort of, oh, okay, well, apparently I have everything I need to start my research. If you'll all give me a few moments, with Shay, so I can know exactly where we are. I guess by the time you pack everything, I should probably be done.
Yes. We'll give you the time we need, and we'll remember you fondly. Oh wait, sorry, I didn't mean that last part. That was.
No, don't worry. I'll remember you when I'm back in the garden and you're still stuck here.
Yes.
I'll remember your sacrifice when you placed the beacon on top of the spire, and then we never hear from you again.
You wish.
I don't want to leave Colony here.
Shay looks at all of you. You're planning to go on top of the spire.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought we told you that.
At the very
No, we
top
did
of the
not yet.
spire.
But we did not tell
Yep.
her
Yeah,
that.
the
The
wizards.
tippy top.
Right.
I'm gonna be dancing on the clouds.
All right.
Oh boy.
Good life.
Release.
Good life lesson. Don't become attached to people you meet that want to do suicidal things. Okay.
Also,
Have
if
an
we
escape
do
plan.
end up succeeding in our mission, which, like you said, very doubtful.
when?
When?
when
Gotta protect
When we suggest,
Manifest
when
it.
we, when we
get you out
do,
of here.
we are gonna come
So-
back and get you out of here.
Right, ruined it.
I'm very flattered, but the judge will never let me leave.
That doesn't matter. I honestly don't care what the judge thinks.
Yeah, the judge.
It's also
is full of crap.
it actually does matter a lot, but the means of escape we mean to use, yeah, the judge will have no say in it.
Audience, you're not helping.
Oh.
Your dragon will be so strong, the judge won't even stand a chance.
Oh,
Have you sinned?
did I miss something?
Are you okay? All right, okay. What I want to say is that it doesn't matter what anything has happened that's here. We are going to get you out of here.
You recognize the face, especially those of you who have high passive insight. You recognize the face of a person that quite literally doesn't know how to answer this. There's just something that doesn't seem to process in that fact. I appreciate it, but don't kill yourself for something that can't happen.
You know, well, that's kind of what we're here for.
Toby,
We
you
have
don't
no
need to be a
intention on
pessimist. You don't need to
dying.
be a pessimist.
Whoa,
We're here
whoa,
to
whoa!
succeed.
What do you mean, me be a pessimist? You're the one who's saying that she could not come with us because of the freaking the
No, I
cloud.
said she could. I just said the judge would have no say in whether she came or not.
And how am I being a pessimist?
Well,
You're good, Toby.
Isn't the job of the judge to make sure that people who should remain in here remain here?
We'll see.
The people he thinks should remain here.
All I know is I hope that the people he thinks shouldn't remain here, because otherwise I'm not going anywhere.
Well, don't take care of yourself. Don't try to do something that can't be done simply because you want me to come with you. It's okay. I don't want all of you to die.
Just because it has
Well-
never been done doesn't mean it can be done.
Okay, well, what are we actually talking about here? Us getting out,
Platitudes.
or is Sachet coming with us?
No.
Getting out and-
Okay, we're talking about us
Both.
getting out and then coming back and helping her to get out.
Okay.
Which we could do if we got an extra orb
Yeah.
from the garden.
Well,
Or steal.
assuming that after we get
Well,
out,
what's the whole
the
point of
wizard
putting
doesn't destroy the way we got out.
the
Which
beacon?
I-
Yeah.
Well, then the whole mission would be pointless, because the whole point was we were trying to get away for us to get back in.
That's the whole reason I'm saying this.
True.
You know, we don't need to worry here about nothing working. Okay? What we need to worry about is instilling a hope for people on this island. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that
Uh,
that feels more achievable than everything else you said earlier. So, okay.
I mean,
That's
that can be what you. That's not why I am here, but that's different.
You know what?
I guess.
We didn't-
I mean, I'm here to save the thing that gave me sentience. So yeah.
I'm also here to help Fisher save the thing that gave them sentience.
I am also here to help audience save the help.
Human lives are human lives. I'm here to save human lives. Okay, I'm here to be someone who
Technically, I
actually
think the
cares.
sentience that we're trying to save isn't human, Toby.
You know what? I
Randy.
didn't ask.
Just
Yeah,
makes
how do
a
you feel about
rainbow.
that?
Toby didn't ask.
okay.
People on this island that need to be saved.
Okay. You should join the resistance, Toby. We'll support
I
you in all
should.
your decisions.
Well, once I come back here by myself, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Hey, nice. I didn't know. There's a friend that just sorry, I am having trouble speaking. There's a friend that just left a message in the chat saying that it is birthday today.
Happy
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 birthday!
birthday. All right. But first things first, we have to control what we can control, which is right now getting Sachet to her friend's library. So let's work on that.
All right.
Speaking of which, just double or triple checking. Where is this library?
The library is in the
Mid-South.
capital. Well, that's well. There's probably one left there, but we're going to High
High
South.
South.
It's the
Yeah.
it's
High
High
South.
South's process.
Okay.
Yeah.
It should be a few days, but if you want to escort your friend to the station, we could take the long way there, going next to the mountains. It's a long walk. We would have to camp out at least one day. I hope you're prepared for this.
I'm always prepared.
Yeah.
I was born prepared.
Well, that's good. I feel like you're not the first person that tells me this, though. But yeah. So we could take the train directly there. There's probably going to be people starting to look for all of you very soon. So it really depends on how confident you feel about your ability to not draw too much attention.
I don't mind. Yeah,
You're gonna say fight. I'm a lot less confident about the other thing, but I can do it.
If we take the long way out, going on foot, hey, my friend giving us 10 bits because we said it was his birthday on camera.
Happy birthday,
Il y avait pas de quoi, bonne fête.
us.
Wait, is Mercy thank you?
Yes.
Yes, merci is thank you.
That's what I thought.
And his name is
The
actually
only one of
Luke.
the only words I know in
Merci
French.
beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So we can take the train directly there, which means we should be leaving the island before the end of the day. Oh, I don't know why there's an echo when someone gives bits.
We can also have Civ come with us if we go the mountain route, and I feel pretty safe with him with us.
Well, as long as we can get through, I guess. It's
I
for the
feel
greater
confident
good.
if we only have to camp out for one day.
Yeah. I think we can do that.
Where would we be camping out and why?
We wouldn't be camping out. Why would we? We're still in town when we go take the next train. Is that correct?
If we don't take the train, because they might be looking for us at the train if we walk up through the mountains.
Why would we be going through the mountains?
So if you go near the mountains, which means you could be taking the train to the station that's near the ocean, that's where you'd leave Calm, and still a low chance of being seen. It's 30 miles from that station to the one in the mountain, so you'd have to camp out at least one day.
My question is, why don't we go to the next island and try to leave from there to there?
I think it's
Since they're gonna be looking for us
safety.
here.
I think it's more safety of us not being in as main stations where there might be information on us and they might be starting to look for us.
That's what I was saying. That's why
The
we
one in the
leave
mountains
here.
that we're talking about, is it the one south?
Up.
All right,
Or-
let me put up the map so people know what we're talking.
I'm looking at map, and I'm kind of confused about what mountains we're talking about.
So we're gonna move there on foot and not on train. Is that what we're saying?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
That's the city. That's the map. All right.
All right, give
So-
us 5 seconds for the stream to catch up.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Bingo.
All
Still
right.
no work.
So, right now you are in the city with a star, right in the middle of the island. So the place where Calm needs to go is the town that is to the westernmost part of the middle of the island. So if you just keep following the relatively straight line leading westward, it's going to lead you directly to where you are leaving Calm. And this is where he would have to start figuring out how to operate all these machines and things so that when you send the message, he can give you the confirmation so that you can start going to the island. From there, you can walk the path that is not straight, which is a path where you'd need to spend a day out, because there are 30.
The path going south.
Yes.
Okay. Is
Sorry.
30. All right, there are 30 dots, which means it's 60 miles. All right. So you'd have to spend 3 days. You'd be arriving at the beginning of the third day, I think.
Okay.
So
what is in that city that we're looking for?
that's just the one that is westward, next to the
No, the one that we would be walking. The
We'd be
one
walking.
south.
Well, that's
the mountains.
Well, that's simply the safest, at least as safe as this island can provide, of a path toward the station where you actually want to go, the town where you want to go.
Yeah,
Which
because
is
we don't want to
southern
directly go
point.
the southern.
Yes.
So we want to go to the
I
bottom.
thought that one went to Mid-Sal.
Yeah, I thought we wanted to go west so we could go to.
No,
I thought Mid-Sal was in the middle.
Mid-Sal is the one that is completely covered in undead, and Mid-Sal, the station leaving there, is the one that is north.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had those mixed. So I thought
Okay.
High Sal was the one at the top, and so I was like, why are we going south if we? Okay.
No, so we want to leave Colin in the western one, and then we want to take the safe route to the mountains, which then we can leave to get to, and it's the safest town to leave to get to.
You
Nice.
would be able to walk next to the train tracks, so you wouldn't need to be able to. You wouldn't need to take the train, but if you do manage to take the train from a small town, literally a village, where there should be a lot less people looking for you, you'd be able to get all the way to the southern town, where this would be the first really dangerous point of your journey, because they would be expecting someone to try and leave the islands, so there might be security there. Or you can decide to try and do it the fast way. Take the train as soon as you can directly to the other island, sort of an express train. You'd be spending days inside of that train. The problem is that if there's a problem, it's an express train, which means your only option is to jump the train. And you're taking it from a city which could have a lot of security, the one that you're in right now. So it's all a question of managing the level of danger of the road you want to take.
And I think we should take the safer option, because also that would allow some time for some heat to kind of be like taken off of us, I think.
That's true.
And they would kind of
the
lose
next
track
place.
of where we were if we went through the mountains, because there would be 3 days down the wilderness, and I think they would somewhat, if they are tracking us at least now and kind of know where we are, they'd lose track of where we were if we went into the mountains. So would it be necessarily, especially once we got to the southern station, they wouldn't be expecting us there, which I think would give us a big advantage of getting on a train there and being able to get out. Because they might be looking for us, but they wouldn't actually know where we were or like expecting us
So
there.
yeah, if you take the detour, in grand total, it's going to be a 5-day detour. So it's a 5-day, because you get to the city and then you have to go back to the small village. So in grand total, it's 5 days. 3 days out, 1 day in the city, and then 2 days to get the other one. So 1 day that you sleep. So just like audience says, it's 5 days, possibly 6, where they don't know where you are.
Well, if it's gonna take that long, we could take some of the books. No, if we get seen on the train with books, then we're gonna get fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's okay. I think Khan will be able to, study and figure it out.
Yeah, I was just trying to think like the fastest way we could get out of here. You know.
I don't think speed is necessarily what we want to go for. I think safety is bigger.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. It's obviously the rest of your opinions matter.
Collins agree with you. You would simply just state that, yeah, we're here. We don't have an easy way out. So there is something to be said about the safe way to our destination.
Mm-hmm. Also, I don't think we've been the safest so far. So I think, as I said, giving a little bit of time to take some heat off of us might be a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. I'll keep studying the orb then.
Okay, I'll let Civ know our plan.
Me and Fisher.
I'll call up Civ and let him know what we plan to do. And say that if he wants to travel with us over the 5 days to help, make that journey safer, that's what we're going to be doing.
Well, I can... He answers, as always, within 5 or 6 seconds. Well, I can make the voyage with you, of course. We are taking the train to the westernmost station first?
Yes.
All right. Are you planning to stay a day in that station, or are you leaving immediately? That will tell me what I'm doing.
We'll let you know when we get there.
I think we were planning, you said a day, I think we were planning to give Khan a day if he needs a day. But...
Here.
Okay.
Oh, here.
No, he just wants to know exactly what are you planning? Are you planning to leave now? And then as soon as you get to the other town, start walking down? Because in a train, getting to that station is... 23, that means it's 46. It's 2.5 hours.
Yeah. I think at least we'll be there for a bit, because I think we want to help Khan get settled and feel like that he is good to go. So whenever he feels good, I think that's when we're going to head out. Or feels like he can handle it.
All right, well, as always, I'll be watching over you while you make your way to the closest train station. And from there, I will do my best to follow you without drawing attention.
Okay.
Kind of worried that if we spend a decent amount of time...
What's happening? There's a weird sound.
There's a
Have no
crackle.
idea. It's not on my end.
Ah, it stopped.
It did stop.
Is that me?
It might have been. I was hearing
Yes.
it too.
Were you hearing me say anything earlier?
No, it's a crackle. It's like a static.
It's like someone dragging a cloth above his microphone.
Mike.
It might be... Is it Zach?
Still happening?
Nope, stop. And I'm playing with all of the cables around me and nothing happens, so... Alright, well, as long as it's solved.
Oh,
I think it was me because I wasn't hearing anything.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Might have been...
Yeah, my mic was on mute, so
Yeah.
No, it wasn't... Yeah, it wasn't either.
I'm hearing it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's...
It's getting louder.
It's not me because I muted my microphone.
No, I think it was Andre. I think it was Andre.
Alright.
No, I think it's me because it stopped right when I muted myself.
That's so
No, it's
weird.
not me. I
Alright,
could hear it,
well,
and my headphones are falling apart. So
it's
But-
possible.
I think it was just timing because it's not happening now.
No.
Unfortunately, Fisher was about to say something that he was
Yes.
worried about. Okay, now I'm hearing an echo.
That's on my side. That's on my side. Don't
Okay.
worry.
Okay.
No,
I'm trying to
it's not.
fix it. Okay, there you go.
All right, Fisher, what were you worried about?
Can you guys actually hear me?
Yes.
There's an echo when you talk. I don't think he...
Yeah, it's because I think my headphones fully died.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So for some reason it's using my monitor audio
Okay.
and picking up through my mic again.
All right. Well, sorry everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties. We will be right back after these short messages. Fortunately, we don't have any publicities, so you're stuck having to watch us while we try to settle the problem.
Yeah, imagine advertising.
So I was bored the other day at work, and I started playing this really cool game, Raid.
I feel left out. No one's been... Raid Shadow Legends never tried to... Alright, Fisher, do you think your microphone's working now?
Is it?
Yes!
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. My audio is still coming out of my... Oh, here we go.
Whatever you're doing, it's working.
Hey,
Hello!
there we go. I got my audio back
Nice.
in my headphones.
All right.
Good.
We're waiting to hear what you were worried about.
Okay, I'm worried if we go to the Western City where we're going to drop off Calm for
Mhm.
like weeks,
Possibly.
probably.
Yeah.
If like currently there is some heat on us, if we go with him there and then hang out with him there
Oh,
for a
you think we'll
bit
bring the heat on
and
him?
then leave, like that's just more chances for like, and then leave and say we get out clean and we're in the wind, walking and nobody knows where we are for 5 days.
It leaves the heat on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. So you think we
Well,
should
he's
just
a
leave?
lo-
You think we should just go there with him and then leave immediately?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's fair.
But don't we need to ask help from her friend?
Her friend's in
That-
High South. Her friend's not
High
where we're
South,
going
okay.
initially.
All right.
Calm just adds to this. We don't need to all leave at the same time. I can stay here a little bit, keep on doing researches. I know that this place might be compromised, but I am well versed in survival. So
But I mean, if
I can stay here, you can go on ahead, or we can all leave together. It's all good with me.
well, my thing is that if we have to get there and instantly leave with Civ, won't we need you to stay there at the next train station, or is that not until the next
No,
one?
absolutely. This is what you've been talking about, leaving me to that at that station. I'm just saying, if you feel that all leaving together might be a problem, I don't mind taking the next train.
Raimi's going to pull out a piece of paper and draw a diamond. The shape, not a diamond.
Oh. Diamonds on the soles of the
Okay.
shoe.
I feel like I need more context to understand you, Remy, about this one.
I can give you context with my, 14. I don't actually know if I can. Still a pretty good roll for me. It's a 15, but I can't give you context.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like that would probably be better. Especially because while it feels like there is kind of heat on us, didn't Civ say that kind of the people who would be delivering it are here at least are currently dead.
Yes. It'll, as I said, it will be a little bit until there's heat from here. So I think him taking the next train wouldn't be a major deal.
Oh, I really don't mind taking the same train as you. I'm just saying that it's an option that I don't mind.
Raimi is going to silent image a very specifically a creek being being split by a large rock and then reforming at the other side.
Take different trains there and then meet up on the other city.
Raimi nods and points to his beak.
Well, like I said, I don't mind taking the next train. I'll let you go ahead. It'll give me a few more hours to do research here. And we meet back there, and once we're all there, we could all be there by the end. All right, here's something that can be interesting. Just let's all meet at the end of the day at that other what town, village? I'm not sure. I'm still not
Can't believe they haven't like at least numbered them, right? That's just insane. Like just say like the westernmost watch post town village thing. Like, come on.
It's just a question of habit. Yes, of course. Every single station, every single process, every single why do I keep wanting to say establishment? Settlement also has a name. I'm just saying that it's sort of people getting used to it. If someone just says the Eastern Station, they know exactly where they're which one they're talking about. If they say the Western Station, because originally there was only 4 stations. This is why these ones are so easily recognized.
Mm. What if I named the station West Point and we just called it West Point?
I don't think anyone would mind, and technically speaking in codes, can work.
All right. From now on,
Sure.
that station is known as West Point.
So like a school there, like an academy maybe. Focusing on military training.
Nah, that's actually where I came from.
Yeah. Okay. So does that mean we heading out on the next train then?
Yep. We should leave as soon as possible, and then our friend can leave on the next one after some time with research.
Colin just said, "Yeah,
Well-
sure. I'll leave with the last train out. So
Okay.
we'll
And
be a
we'll
few
meet up.
hours.
And we'll meet up at West Point in the evening.
All right, and that'll give you a little bit of time to figure out how to get to South Point. Am I deducing this right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just keep me informed. I will do my best to not draw any attention.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
To the
Why don't-
train we go.
Yeah, why don't we go and then why don't we have Civ go with Calm just at least just today?
Well, Civ's not going to really go with any of us because he doesn't catch the train. But he could, you mean like have him watch over Con?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can tell Civ to watch over Con. Till Con leaves.
All right.
I go to pull out my orb and then remember I gave it to Sashay.
I'll do it. I'll call
Knock it on
Sip
you.
quickly and let him know that we would like what we're doing. Let him know what we'd like him to leave with Khan whenever Khan leaves, so he can kind of watch over him.
Very well. I will do my best to keep my attention on both of you until you all leave. And then I will stay with him and make sure that he makes his way to your next rendezvous point.
All right. Okay. Time to be an old man again, I guess.
So, you take the necessary time to do your bags. Let Sichet explain to Calm where the necessary books are. She gives him a little bit more instruction on how to close down the library while she's away. And gives him a few advice on leaving this place discreetly. And so, most likely, by noon, you are all leaving this library, who has been mostly a cozy haven.
Nice little base of oppa.
Well, I will go ahead and state for the record that even though it's kind of a moot point considering like his particular race, but he is going to be packing up his coat for the time being, so that he's less of an obvious eye draw, or easily identified by the coat alone.
Yeah, no, because it doesn't draw any attention when a cloak walks in the middle of the street, in the middle of a town square, and it only has chicken feet.
I'm still in my all black cloak.
I'm in my cloak being an old man.
Oh, and I let go of the silk that was letting her
Okay.
lay down
Okay.
after a
So-
while.
The points come back to you.
But it's like really the more the main point is the
I was just kidding when I.
well, the fact of the matter is like Raimi isn't going to wear a cloak regardless, because like one, it's not inconspicuous at all. Just to have like everybody in a cloak all moving in the same direction. It's like that doesn't look like a terrorist attack waiting to happen. But he is like dressing a bit more generically so that he doesn't stick out as much as he did
I
before.
mean, technically, we do have a bomb. We could do a terrorist attack on the train.
Please, I don't want to get banned.
That's it.
There are subjects that the United States still feel very, very sensitive about.
Even people who haven't been born are still reeling from witnessing 9/11.
Oh yeah. Well, to be fair, here we did have 10 years ago a very bad train accident, so I'm sure there are also people here not wanting to reproduce that.
Alright. So we're going to the train.
So, you all bundle up, cover up. If you have room in your attuned equipment list, you can attune to the ring she gave you, so you can stay warm
You
outside.
have to attune to it?
Unfortunately,
I don't think you do.
the ring of warmth,
The ring of
I
warmth, you
believe,
do.
is
It
attuned.
is, because Ring of Warmth also comes with a resistance, and oftentimes when an item gives
Yeah.
you resistance to something, it's
Did she
usually-
give us a reward, or did I not get this because I was asleep?
Oh, you might have been
yeah.
asleep. Yeah,
She gave everybody a ring of warmth.
It's one of the reasons why she didn't hear anyone come inside of the library. She was in the other building and went to get 6 rings of warmth and gave each one of you.
Fair enough. I don't need it. I love this cold.
You do need it though. You love this cold, but you don't love the colder or cold damage.
Let's just say that in two.
You're not a white dragon.
Let's just say
or
in
a
two.
silver.
Yeah.
Last time we went to a cold place, I didn't care. I just took the damage.
I mean, the only
Yes, but
reason
that's
I'm
dumb.
thinking is because should I Can you unattune to your item, your
You can
artifact?
unattune to anything.
Your
Well, why would you
artifact
unattune to your artifact? Why would you choose that as the thing to unattune to?
Your
Because
artifact
my
doesn't
mask,
need
I could
attunement.
use.
Yeah, it
Well, it
doesn't-
says that it does.
No, the artifact
No.
that you received from the garden doesn't need attunement.
Well, even with the charges of the lightning bolt.
That's your ball. That's not your artifact.
No, yeah. I mean my ball.
Okay,
Sorry,
yeah, no.
Oh,
that's what I meant.
No, I would
Okay.
definitely keep that attuned.
Well, there's that, and then I could have my masks attuned. That's the main reason. Like
No,
you
I
have
have
three
to
attuned
unattune. I have to unattune for my sobering mug.
You have 3 attunements.
All right, so I was just asking this question. You'll have
Racers of
plenty of
Defense.
time to figure this out between episodes.
Okay.
I was just curious, that's all. Because I think not all of you have 3 object attune right now, so they could probably... But... Alright.
It's my 3rd, so I don't have to worry about it.
I have so many things I have to attune to.
You could always
Sobering
just-
mug.
Yeah.
So right now you don't need it. Yes, that's true. Because it's really just the beginning. It's getting chilly outside.
Oh,
You
we
have
don't
enough-
need it yet?
You have enough clothes and a warm enough
Yeah.
cloak that you
Let me know
can
when I
go
have to
without
attune.
it. But in 2 or 3 weeks, unless you want to buy more clothes, you'll need it.
We won't be here in 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, that's
It
good.
will be on another island that will also be very cold.
No, we'll be gone. We got this.
1 week is literally just going to be us walking to the next station, and then island to island is a few days.
Nah, we're good. Don't
So
worry
that's
about
already like a week and a half before we even get to the second of the 3 islands we have to go to.
it.
All right, Toby's mask has been attuned
Don't
to.
worry
I
about
don't
it.
care about the ring of warmth. I know.
Okay.
for
So,
mine, I'm just gonna keep my ring of protection and use the advantage on saving throws instead of warmth.
It doesn't give advantage.
what?
What?
Oh,
What are you thinking
What?
about?
It gives a +1 to yours.
What
and
is your ring of
saving.
protection?
Oh, plus
doing?
1 bonus to AC and saving throws while
Yeah,
wearing
not-
this ring. Okay. Okay, even
The
better.
Ring of Warmth currently is mostly for
When you'll be walking in nature
Uh-huh.
for 2 or 3 days.
ignoring the actual
Or when we go to the
travel negative effects.
or when we go to the cold shard, but we're not doing that for a bit.
No. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Alright, so you all leave this library a bit awkwardly if we go by with all of this conversation. But you all leave, and you leave with Sachet. Remy from the corner of your eye, and probably Tobiyashi. I keep forgetting Jorg's passive perception.
Should be close to ours.
Yeah.
Uh,
17, I believe.
Yes.
So,
It's more than mine.
really?
I
Passive
have a
perception?
16.
I
I
thought
have
you
a
had
16.
18.
It says 16.
Are you
no,
sure it's...
Toby is 6. I thought
Don't you have-
Oh no, 18. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
My bad.
it's your passive investigation.
I was looking at
16.
investigation. Yeah.
Oh, Toby got good stuff.
No, he's got very good wisdom, so...
I have 9.
Well, he also, to be clear, he also took a feat that
Yes.
increased.
Yeah, I
his
took a
passive
feat.
Yeah.
significantly.
Yes, he does have a feat. Alright, so probably Jorg, Tobiyashi, and Remy, as you're leaving, you sort of notice the little kid that's just trying to spy on all of you, just going as you're all walking by, and You see that he immediately noticed that you're leaving with Sachet. Sort of had this.
And lightning bolt him.
No witnesses.
No witnesses.
No witnesses.
Throw him in the sewer.
So he has this body language of someone who wants to go say something and then doesn't. You also
Profess your love. It's your last chance. Do it.
Do it now.
He's not even 10 years old.
Doesn't matter.
He can profess his love.
Love hits at any
Yeah,
moment.
just be one of those.
I
He
don't
can get
see him
rejected, but you
and
know.
feel good about being able to scare him off well enough that he didn't come back.
So he has this one moment of hesitation, and you sort of recognize the dance of the kid that wants to say something to the girl that he really likes and doesn't, because face it, he's somewhere between 10 and 15 years younger than her, and she's leaving with what looks like two men and an elderly man.
Oh, what? I want to hear the rest of this arc, so I'm gonna run over to him real quick.
Toby, remember? Oh, we're not trying to draw more attention.
We're not. He's in.
Where are you
he's in-
going, Toby?
Is he not in the alleyway still?
Oh, he's in an alleyway, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go to the alleyway.
You'll
And
hear
then,
audience mutter, "We should have left Toby behind." I just don't trust him.
Let's leave
I'll run to
Tobiyashi
the-
behind and take calm.
I'll stealthily run to the alleyway. Do I need to roll stealth?
Well, if you want to go there stealthily, yes.
Okay. 23, 17 plus 6.
That's good.
All
So I
right.
stealthily run over there really quick, and then I'll sneak up behind the kid and say, "What do you want?" Hurry, I don't got a lot of time.
It feels like you just surprised someone with a huge spotlight. Just shine it right on him as he looks at you for a moment, and he looks at the rest of the party and doesn't realize that something's jiggling in his pocket. And he just looks at where are you going? Where are you taking her?
To a safe place. That's all you need to know. If you want to say anything to her, write down on this piece of paper, and I'll pull out a piece of papyrus and give it to him.
Papyrus.
Man, you're taking the fancy stuff.
Yeah. It was with my scroll, so I want to see what this kid has to say. So I'm just like, write it down real quick. I'll take it to her.
You're gonna read it.
No, I'm gonna give it to her, and nobody else.
Do you promise?
I promise.
All right. So, is it a deception roll or persuasion
No,
roll?
I actually mean I'm not gonna read it.
Okay, then persuasion.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna give it to somebody else, and then they're gonna read it.
That is a straight 13.
Okay.
Solid.
Yeah. Okay.
You got a minute and a half, kid. Say what
Okay.
you need to say.
Do you have something to write? Not just the paper.
I will take out one of the balls that I have that are colored.
Okay.
I'll make them black, and then I'll give it to him and say, tap your finger into it and write.
Jeez, finger painting. Okay. Right.
That's all I
Okay.
have.
How,
Kid.
that's how I want someone to see me as not childlike when I profess my love letter with finger paint.
Finger paint, hurry.
Okay. He
Oh god.
has just a brief moment of hesitation, and then he takes the piece of paper, take the ball of black paint, and all right, he starts scribbling something. He actually has a better idea than using his finger. He just takes a rock on the floor and he dips the tip of the rock and gives a little bit more space. And then I guess after a minute you just yank it out of his hands.
Yeah, well, a minute and a half.
A minute
Because I
and
can
a
meet
half.
them there.
Alright.
Yeah,
It's 90 seconds.
yeah. And then I'll take it from him like, that's all you got. And I'll roll it up and then put it back into where my where the papers that are with my my map is, and put it in there.
Okay. Okay. Bring her back at some point, please.
We'll see. And then I'll say, take care of yourself, kid, and I'll throw him 5 gold pieces. And
Damn!
then I leave.
He's rich.
He's gonna go spend it all on chocolate.
Are
Hopefully.
we being Mr. Charity to this child suddenly?
Well,
All right.
unbeknownst to people, Remy also slipped him money. So damn, he's made.
Kid's about to be like richer than
Yeah,
like,
I say
everyone else on this
after
island.
I'm just like, go take care of yourself, and then I sneak away.
Okay.
Invest in Apple.
Just don't invest in D&D. It's going through so much trouble right now. We're not sure
Hey,
it's going to be there.
you
in
know what they
few
say? It's dipping. Invest in the dip.
years.
And
Sell
then
at the peak.
And then I try to sneak up to the rest of the group. I know Remy will see me, and probably most everyone else, but
I won't.
I still sneak over there.
Well, I think Jorg and Remy sees you coming back, but not really Fisher.
The audience was confused why we stopped for 90 seconds because he saw
No,
none.
you guys still,
we
you
kept
guys are still
going.
walking. You guys
Oh,
are
we
still
kept
walking.
going. Oh,
Yes, I snuck away.
All right, so you all leave this place, and you unfortunately have to go through at least one town square on your way out, and this is where you realize a bit more, in a more concrete way, how she wasn't welcome because of the choices she made of going to this library again and again and studying what's inside of the library. Because as you're moving through the town square, you hear a few people, and especially even more so when it looks like she's stumbling a little bit and is in a weaker state than she would normally be. You hear comments in the crowd of people just going, "Oh God, I guess she finally got what she deserves, huh? Oh, another one." You hear another little witch is finally leaving her nest, huh? I hope something bad happens to her before she finds another one.
Wait a minute, isn't that the old man with leprosy?
I hope they end up together, and I know he's gonna give her leprosy.
I fight back the urge to go fight somebody.
I also fight
You're the
back the
worst.
urge to go fight somebody.
But is it the
Don't.
same person that you want to fight?
Hopefully, then we could take them out in one hit.
No.
It's a peasant. Of course you can take it out in one hit.
Audience debates how much would really be worth all their lives to go divine smite that one old
Yeah,
person with a
audience-
stick.
I see
Besides,
audience
it's
look
not
back, and
worth it.
I see audience look back, and I'm looking at him like, keep going.
So,
Audience isn't gonna risk the entire party over smiting.
Suddenly,
bad
suddenly
mouth.
Captain Falcon's theme starts playing. I did all go.
Audience does make a mental note that perhaps he doesn't really care about saving any of these people of this island.
Yeah.
Maybe
Just
they
need
all
the one
deserve
person
the
off
bird.
of it.
Yeah.
What about the kids? Come on.
he was worried about her.
They're probably racist too.
Well, you know, in a place where everyone looks at her funny, he's a human that has a crush on a tiefling, so he's probably not as racist as you might think.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
The kid's fine. I just
It's cool. I meant the rest of the kids.
Oh, the
Leave him as
orphanage.
the lone survivor.
The orphanage, any kid that's on the
Listen,
island.
all I'm
you know.
saying is we haven't seen the orphanage since that one day when we got her into trouble. I don't really want to know what happened to them, so I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah. So you have to go through this shaming moment as you're going through this large town square of people just looking in her direction, calling her little witch and
The B word.
well, it's the same thing as witch, but with one letter difference.
Yeah.
My witch academia.
What?
So
Bitch, no? Okay, never mind.
no, so
Lich? Oh, sorry. No,
Lich.
that's
The
something
lich? Oh, shit. Wait a minute.
maybe we should have
Oh,
let her here.
shit.
Who are
So
we helping here?
So yeah, you have to go through this shaming moment where she seems to be able to distance herself, although there are some comments which seems to trigger a little wince from her, but she pulls through. She doesn't react to them as if she was too familiar with this kind of response. But now that she looks wounded and it looks like she's leaving, some of them lose their inhibition to try and insult her as she's passing because, now that the witch can't do anything, it's safe for me to at least pass the comment that she probably shouldn't have survived, and it's an abomination, sorry. Don't know why I put two B's in there. But since no one reacts and the clamor just suddenly starts fading, and you have this moment of, oh, thank God we didn't draw any attention from any of the guards. You move on and you take her all the way to the train station where, as always, you have to pay to enter the train station. 2 coppers each, or someone can pay for
My
everyone.
2 coppers.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel bad. I'll pay for sachet as well.
I was gonna pay for sachet.
So 100
Well,
copper.
I beat you to it. So.
Fine.
100 copper is 1 gold piece. I only have 1 copper piece.
I got you.
You got me? Okay. I'll pay you back.
So it's
You don't have a vagina, but
Yeah, can I Venmo you after this?
Oh, come on. Come on. Alright, so you get to the train station and you all enter this train without drawing attention. There's a moment again where you have to pass this point where everyone is just looking at everyone entering. But fortunately, I believe it was Jorg, Remy, and Fisher. You know that they're not looking for you right now, so it's mostly safe. And this is when audience realized that he made a belly flop from the 2nd floor for nothing.
Still not nothing. I don't want them to see that I'm a dragonborn.
Well, you have...
I'm hoping Sachet can change my face again.
Alright, this is what I was gonna say. If you ask her, of course she's gonna do it.
Yeah. Because I'm I don't want them to know I'm a dragonborn. That might cause a disturbance.
Uproar.
Alright, so you get through the checkpoint rather easily. They handle her a bit roughly, and you recognize it in the way that she just reacts when they look at her carefully, but
Don't lose your temper.
she doesn't say anything, and she lets them look at her very carefully, because one of you know that they are actually looking for a tiefling, but it appeared to be a male tiefling, and she's obviously a female tiefling. So after taking a moment to look at her, they let her through, and you all manage to go inside of the train. Now, with a group of 6 people, you can actually take an entire box in the train. And since you're at noon, there's less people coming.
Technically, Fisher could also seal the cart with his lever, so no one can enter.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would like alert
I know,
the
I know.
train
I'm
somehow. I
joking.
was thinking about
You
it,
could stand in front of the door.
but then
though,
I was
you did
like,
last
that
time.
would. I feel like fucking with the train while we're on it is not a good idea.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you could stand in front of the door though.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, like I did last time.
All right.
Part of me wants to like Fisher to just pretend to be an object and just like sitting up against the door, and when people complain, it's just like, oh, sorry, I just moved my luggage.
All right. So when you get in the train, you sort of realize that Sachet feels a little excited about being in a train. You get the feeling that it's been a while since she's been in one, and she probably spent a lot of time, and it probably brings back a few pleasant memories. Why is the audience looking at the ceiling right now?
I don't know. Don't worry about it.
And you all sit down, and after a few moments, the train starts, and you are on your way. In a few hours, you will be there, and you get to look outside meanwhile.
Chugga 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 choo choo chugga 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 chugga.
And you have
Here comes the choo-choo train. Sorry.
you actually have a few moments while you're looking outside, because outside the snow hasn't melted in nature. So you even have a little bit of an interesting view where you see many pine trees and, you know, a few broadleaf trees also that are still there, but just naked. You have this moment of where, oh, so does that mean that Arunak is naked when he doesn't have any leaf left? Never thought about it that way.
I did think about it that way.
But the train seems to be going well. The train ride seems to be going well. And I feel this is an interesting place where we can end today's episode. Because I feel we were a little bit excited about many things.
Now we gotta wait till next week. Guys, please like, comment, and subscribe so we can play more.
I don't think it's a like, comment, and subscribe.
That's not what Twitch does.
Well, it depends, you know, if I get
I'm
enough...
not talking about on YouTube too, okay?
Yeah, we
We also go on
gotta
YouTube.
talk to the YouTube audience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, of course, and the Patreon and all, you know, if you all give enough money so that I can actually live from this, then after that, I really don't mind starting to share the wealth. So if you give a whole lot, you know, we could all stop working and do this all day long.
Yeah, we could become content creators.
Yeah. I will start in audience OnlyFans. Just be.
Yeah, exactly. Just get a bunch of art from different people that is just like audience.
Yeah.
I wonder...
And we could play more. We could play 2 times a week, okay, guys?
Well, if we
I don't
get
know
enough
what
supporters and I
everyone's schedule is,
can support every single one of you, we could play more than 2 times a week.
I will play this campaign 7 times a week if I have been fully supported monetarily.
I think only 2 times a week is good for me, but I mean,
If that is my job, nah. If I'm being paid like,
I mean, if
like
it was my
top-
job,
top
then yeah,
content, if
obviously.
I'm being paid top content creator like millions of dollars every, like, you know, no.
I would do it 5 days
So
a
yeah,
week.
like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about us. Hit the like button, subscribe to the Twitter.
Give donations, become
Yeah,
Patreons.
become a Patreon. Please.
Offer your
I mean,
eternal
my guy, you
servitude
gotta-
and loyalty to the almighty Cthulhu.
Nah.
Really, what we gotta do.
You gotta
To the
find
tr-
some other hobbies, my man. You're sounding
I
kind of
have other
desperate.
hobbies, but they're not as fun as D&D. I play guitar. I do other shit.
Well, and it doesn't even have to be.
Dark and darker.
I do Dark and Darker.
Gone
Once
again
that comes
in a
out,
week.
I'm out.
It doesn't
is
even
gone
have
again.
to be D&D. I'm very open to trying different play system. If you really want, I
Yeah.
can try and learn Pathfinder, although it does have a few elements that I've identified that they don't find all that attractive. But I don't mind. I could learn it.
Pathfinder sounds fun. I've heard a lot of good things.
No, I'm sure because I'm the dungeon master, I'm sure that for me, most of the things that I don't like wouldn't be a part of it, because it's as a player that I've seen things that I wouldn't be very interested in being a player in Pathfinder. But as a dungeon master, I think it would mostly be exactly the same. So
The hardcore Vancian casting does seem kind of rough. But
uh,
outside of that, everything seems pretty cool.
yeah. Well, for me personally, it's because I enjoy becoming something. I don't like systems where they start out under the assumption that the player is basically a level 1 hero. I like it when you start at literally nothing and you become the hero through your action. But systems like Pathfinder, because of the powers that are involved in it, it feels like you're starting your adventure as a hero level 1 and not just a person starting their adventure. This is something that I
Okay.
don't like a whole lot.
I think we should play a full campaign just as an NPC and never gain any levels.
Yeah, like just a town of NPCs.
Well, there are systems
just-
that are skill based. It does
D&D,
sometimes
but
feel like
Sims.
you are always level 1 when you're playing a skill based game.
No, I just want to be a bartender the whole campaign. Stay at my bar.
There's a couple of like ones that are like horror based or like stuff like that I've seen on I forgot what it's called. It was like ran by Will Wheaton for a long time, but
I mean, I'll just throw out there that like Strixhaven lets you have an entire like mini campaign where you're just working at the coffee shop at the academy.
That's hilarious.
I wouldn't mind
fun
that.
and
That'd be like a
interesting.
romance role play type thing.
Yes, I
Yeah,
think.
where's our slice of life D&D campaign?
Yeah, we need a slice of life episode.
Intriguing.
I feel like Raimi and I have done a couple of those when we needed to stall for time. A slice of the road trip.
A slice of the road trip.
Just
Yeah, when we get back to the garden, it's just gonna
hours
be
of
a whole
Rum
arc of us just being at the garden, starting our own businesses.
Just
You know.
talking. It's going to be 3 hours of the player talking.
We all retire from adventuring for a full year. Just start our businesses. No.
Or you can always just activate the teleportation with the red sphere. Might make the year go faster.
Go.
Yeah.
Might make it instantaneous. Who knows?
Yeah.
Might make the next 50 years instantaneous. Who knows?
Well, that is also a possibility. All right. So, on this very intriguing note, sorry, this is how we are going to end this session's episode, and we will be back next episode as the group arrive at a new station and hopefully the adventure starts moving forward again with combats and
No.
yeah, no, that's it, combat.
No.
And challenges and puzzles, because I know you all love puzzles so much.
No, not puzzles.
A labyrinth! A labyrinth!
Well, just so you want to know, I did make a mental note of everyone who insulted Sachet, and I am planning to come back to level 20 adventure and just punch them.
Just
No.
While we're freeing them, we don't let them through. We just sock them.
Just do what Core did to me to every one of them as they pass through the portal. Just in the gut.
I think that if Core tries this with them, they're gonna blow up.
Well, I didn't say Core would do it. We would do it.
Okay.
And I can't punch that hard.
Yet.
I don't think I'll ever be able to punch that hard.
Just by
Not with
yourself.
that
I mean,
Just by
I could
yourself
eventually
assist
punch
this
that
and
hard.
start divine smiting people with it.
I mean, yeah.
Do you really think I've never thought about it?
No, I mean, I could.
Just get brass knuckles, and then you'll be fine.
Do you really think that your only paladin friend in the garden doesn't actually have a cestus just because I want to see him do this at least once?
I like to listen. I'm more of a chair user. I like to define smite using chairs. I like to go WWE on them.
You see, he likes to use chairs because he won't stand for injustice.
All right. Time for me to go, guys.
And on that note, yes,
Alright.
thank you very much for being here. We really hope you'll be there next Wednesday. After all of this interesting talk, we really hope you'll be there next Wednesday or Friday if you're watching
Please
this
don't do
broadcast.
that.
And as always, if you enjoy the show, support the stream, please. It will be very good for us, for me. Well, for me first, and then for the group. Follow us, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Subscribe. Again, Twitch, YouTube. Become a Patreon. Give donations and spread the word of this channel. Because whichever you're going to choose to do, it's going to help us tremendously. And help us be happier in life, as you have all noticed. We're very happy talking about those things. And that's it. See you next Wednesday or next Friday. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.
Tenny.
Good night.